Always, always, always be there, always there. Welcome. Cart before the horse, from the horse's mouth, live tonight. All right, we're going to start off the show as we always do with our sponsors tonight. Our in-house sponsors, we'll start with You Got Moss. This is our organic wildcrafted sea moss company. Follow us on Instagram at you_got_moss. This is where you get your organic sea moss. You can order it right online. We actually ship out of state. And the company's growing. So go ahead, follow us. Go onto the website at www.healthhappiness101.com and go over to the website, and that's where you can order the sea moss at. So we have just your regular, organics, pretty much taste-free, smell-free. We got our strawberry, got your mango. So head over there, check that out. Also, we got today's custom designs. This is our in-house print shop. We'll have merchandise up soon here on the YouTube page where you can actually go and purchase the different items we'll have. And a lot of things we specialize in. Obviously, sporting events, you're talking about high school, youth, football, small businesses, whether it's, cleaning companies or whatever may have you. So don't hesitate to reach out to the Instagram page at today's_custom_designs. That's on Instagram. And last but not least, THS, Today's Home Services. This is for all your property solution needs. This is the cash cow here. This what helps, cart before the horse exists. For those who don't know, this is our main company here. We own a lot of different companies. So, and if you're watching right now, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead, hit the subscribe button before the show starts. Like I said, Today's Home Services, salute. And welcome in, Walker. Welcome.
What's going on? We're in the building, baby.
We're in the building. And so tonight, we were going to get started off, and we're talking about this brother here, rest in peace, Takeoff of the Migos. As you know, he was, fatally taken out early this morning, and more senseless violence that's going on in the community. Very senseless, right? And we're going to get all into it tonight. So that's what we're here for, because this is some more cart before the horse shit going on. Mm-hmm. So we have to address it. Rest in peace to this brother, like I said, to his family. If he got kids, to his kids, I'm sure, brother was 28 years old. 28 years old. And yeah, life gone too short, man. So here we are. We're going to get into it here tonight. And before we get going, just want to say anything you want to say before we get started?
It's painful. I'm not really a big modern hip hop fan or follower. At the same time, I believe that brother was 28 years old. That was a young man. And I believe that a lot of times these individual celebrity, they live in their celebrity, the shadow of their celebrity status. And I didn't know that, man. I didn't know he was so young, and to get killed like that. This is all a part of this current culture, this senseless killing. There's a lot of questions being asked about how this young brother was murdered and why the whole situation. And it's just absolute madness. Even the way that people are going about the discussions is madness. Very insensitive and just numb to the continuous murdering of young Black men and women. It's terrible. So yeah, let's get into this.
Okay. So before we come up, introduce some of our guests. I see some people in the back. We're going to bring y'all up here. Once again, if you're watching, hit the subscribe button. The link to join the show is pinned in the chat. So the link to join the show in the chat. If you want to come up on the panel tonight, you're more than welcome. You know, try to be on camera if you want to come up. Try to be on camera, and you're more than welcome to come up and be part of the discussion. So, like I said, rest in peace to the brother Takeoff, man. We're going to get into it tonight. Before we get into it, I see brothers in the back. I see my man's back there. I ain't got none of these ads in here no more, but nonetheless, oh, there I do. Welcome up. I see my man in the back, LZX Premium Lawn Care Service, LLC. None other than my man Banger Die,
Banger.
Banger. Welcome into the building, brother.
Peace.
How you feeling tonight?
Hey, I'm saddened by this, man. Like, you know, I believe he had more in his future to go for, man. Like, over what it was, you know what I'm saying? Just seeing it, man. But Takeoff, like, I've just thought about being that age, and I'm like, dang. You know, that was when I started my law enforcement tenure. And, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, when you lose your life, I mean, you know, when it happens, we see it as a great loss because we look at the future aspect. Everybody wants to go through a true end, and we all deserve that as black men.
For
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? And especially with succeeding out here, whether you rap or any way or form that you.
Hey, Bagger, I cut you off. You got like a TV or something going. It's kind of drowning you out, bro. But I'm gonna get right back. I'm get right back to you. I see you else in the back. I see my main man back there. None other than, you know, let me see if I can find you here. Ala Quipper, the docu-series. Mr. King's cleaning himself. Living legend. Welcome him up. Donnell McKenzie, a.k.a. Big Nasty, in the building, baby. Legend.
Hey, what's happening, fellas? What's happening, fellas?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on, King? How y'all doing tonight?
How y'all doing tonight? Big Nasty.
You know, we out here. You know, we out here trying to survive. You see, as you see, we out here trying to survive one day at a time.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Ed, I see you back there, brother. Throw me up the deuce real quick. Bring you up. Okay. What's going on, brother? All right, we're going to get started here tonight. Like I said, man, rest in peace to the brother Takeoff. So he's the long line of brothers just getting killed out here, right? You got the young Dolph. He get killed in the cookie store. Brother just trying to get some cookies, right? You got P&B Rock. This brother get killed inside the Waffle House. In there with his old lady, his kid, whatever was going on, get robbed. You know, you got Pop Smoke. Brother got robbed, killed. You know what I mean? Brothers broke into the house, snuck up on him while he was in the shower. He didn't even see it coming. See what I'm saying? These brothers dying some horrible deaths, man. Right? You got people like King Von and these guys. And here's the latest guy, Takeoff. And at the end of the day, you know, my question is, where do we go from here? That's kind of what we're talking about tonight, trying to sort of find some solutions. We're going to touch base on a lot of things. And first thing I was talking about, killed at a dice game, right? These brothers is millionaires. What the hell they out at 2:30 in the morning shooting dice, right? I mean,
it makes no sense. You know, I think someone bought that up on the TikTok I just saw. You know, you a brother, you know, God rest your soul, but you were a millionaire. You know, like we saw on this panel, he was not expendable. You know, a young brother like Takeoff is not easily, if at all, replaceable. We got as as adult men, we have to be more careful with our actions. We can't just be out here doing anything, all willy-nilly, because ultimately we are responsible for our own outcomes. And that's just what it is. So, it's like, what is this? Myself, I do blame this damn culture. This is cultural. This is a cultural thing. What, you a millionaire? Bezos, all these other cats, that ain't of this culture. They ain't out here getting killed at dice games or hacky sack games. It's not part of their culture. Killing each other and just taking away, devaluing each other is part of this culture. That's why I say to hell with this culture. It's
even like some of the shit like you see on the news, they show not on the news, but you go on the internet, you can actually see the aftermath, people screaming, whatever. Only us, they show this type of stuff on the news, right? You don't see no kind of other cultures where you can see people take their last breath on the internet. You know what I mean? So what's your take on that, Donnell?
They say that you can't take the hoe out of a housewife, but they also say that you can't take the hood out of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people tend to, become a millionaire, that don't mean that he don't still want to kind of be surrounded by what he, was his elements growing up and whatnot. You just got to move different. We talked about how Kanye West, how he moves different than the man he is. And you have to move. We discussed how he has to move different. So, it's hard. Like, I find myself sometimes, like I go somewhere, I travel, I'm like, yeah, this is dope. But like, let me ride to the hood real quick. Let me at least feel somewhat at home for just a moment and just kind of but I ain't gonna sit around and but I at least want to see, what's happening over here. But I'm out. I'm in and I'm out. You know what I mean? But it's a fucked up situation, especially shooter. You know what I mean?
Real talk. I hear you. So here we are. I'm gonna pull a video up real quick. I get you guys in here, Mr. Ed, Kevin. I see you guys. Welcome up to the panel. Cart before the horseman. We appreciate y'all for coming up tonight, man. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all, and I'll get you guys in here so we can sort of start scratching the surface about exactly what's going on, right? So.
For breaking news, one of the members of the incredibly popular rap group Migos was shot and killed in Houston. Representatives for the group have confirmed the rapper known as Takeoff has died following this morning's shooting in Houston. The rapper's real name was Kershnik Kari Ball. He was 28 years old. His group, Migos, first formed in Atlanta in 2008. And by 2013, the trio hit it big with the single Versace. Drake actually was featured on the song and it blew up. They've gone on to produce 20 platinum and gold singles and albums. Houston police say the shooting happened early this morning during a private party at a bowling alley. TMZ and Variety are reporting Takeoff was playing dice outside on the balcony when a fight broke out, ending in a shooting.
There were some security guards that were in the area, but they heard the shooting, but no one saw who did the shooting. A lot of folks were there. They were in front of the bar. The bar was actually closed at the time. They had the doors locked, but people were congregating out on the balcony area, and everybody fled.
Takeoff.
Here we are. So here we can start here. There were so many people out there. People saw shooting, but like he said, nobody has come forth and said anything. So what's your take on this, Mr. Ed?
Well, first, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I want to thank y'all because I've been keeping y'all out for the last month. I'm on the West Coast, so I'm in LA. So see what y'all brothers doing, Galvin and Willie. Y'all doing a good thing for the brothers, and I like how y'all keeping it real. So thank you for having me. It's just crazy, bro. It's just how we living right now. The PNB Rock, I'm out here on the West Coast. That whole thing went down. It's sad the brother lost his life, but we got to stop putting ourselves in areas and environments where we putting our lives at risk. Nobody is talking about that. They're talking about the aftermath of us getting killed and all that. But a lot of this shit can be prevented. Then you got to just move. You know how you move out here, and then these cats with all this money. If you're gonna be moving in certain areas, how you some real deal security? Listen to them. If they peeping out certain areas that ain't right, get up out of there. Then, like you said, a lot of these cats coming from the hood, they're getting money. You shouldn't even be at a dice game. Shit, if you have a dice game, have a real dice game at your mansion with cats that that got shit to lose like you. Then don't be around the hood shooting dice. Then so it's really just the mentality of us as black men, and it's just sad because brother lose his life, another brother is gonna probably get caught and go to jail, which he deserved because he took a life. But that's a lose-lose then. And, it's sad. It's not going to stop here. It's just going to keep going. Yeah, we know it's an agenda against us, but we're helping them push it forward by keep doing stupid shit like this. So that's what hurts me as a black man. I'm 43, so I done seen a whole bunch of shit, and I'm just like, man, when is it going to end? When are we going to come together and not live to where we got to, we see another brother and we got to fear or we got to think in our mind, just... I'm not your enemy. I'm cool with it. I'm not your enemy, but it's just sad, man. It's just sad then.
So yeah, you just hit on something. You said, I hope the brother go to jail, right? So here we are. I'm gonna pull another video up because this may end up being a real unfortunate set of circumstances here, right? So I'm gonna share the screen with y'all. Then I get you in here, Kevin. And I get your take, and then bring you in, Banger. See what y'all think.
Hey man, why these rappers gonna be out here playing dice and get mad when you losing money? Ain't nothing no guaranteed win all the motherfucking time, nigga. You taking a chance with anything. But I'm just saying, y'all act like y'all just gonna flex on niggas and niggas just gonna take that shit. It's mob niggas out here. It's real niggas out here. That's what they said happened at this dice game. They said Quavo was getting his motherfucking pockets ran. And they said he decided to wolf. They said, but he was wolfing to some real fucking wolves who don't give a fuck about your status. And they said when the other nigga wolfed back, they said one of Quavo boys jumped up. They said the other side jumped up. They said that's when a nigga from Quavo's side started shooting wildly, and they believe that's when Takeoff got hit, my nigga, on some real shit. And they said the other nigga started shooting on the other side, and they think that's when Takeoff got hit again. Over some money, nigga.
So here we are. They say his own security guard was the one who ended up shooting him eventually, right? That's hearsay. That ain't obviously what happened. Allegedly, the security guards that he hired were the first one to fire, and that may have been what have taken him out, right? So that's crazy within itself. Let's get you in here, Kevin. I get Kevin in here real quick, Banger. I get you in and get his thoughts, see what he thinks so far.
I mean, everything that I would say has already been said. When you're in that status, then you need to be above the status where you used to be. I mean, I've gone to college, went to, was in the military, established myself and whatnot. I'm originally from Memphis. When I go home to Memphis, I know at this point now, there are some spots I just don't need to go. I'm not looking for any trouble. I try to stay out of trouble because, one, I'm a son, I'm a father, and I got responsibilities. Now, I mean, him being an entertainer and everything and thinking, again, you got to live that lifestyle and show off and everything else. And just like the previous clip said, he thought he was a wolf, but he was dealing with real wolves and everything that didn't care. He's also, out here being, I don't mean to speak ill. I'm not trying to speak ill. I'm just trying to say, when you're of that status, you always got to be aware of your surroundings. You always got to be careful of what you're doing and how you're moving. It's in the military, there's a term situational awareness. I've been out for 20 years now, and I was just telling somebody that everywhere that I go, everything that I do, every move that I make, I'm always checking my surroundings. I'm always looking around, making sure, all right, who's coming at me? What exits I got? If something jumped off, how am I going to respond to it? And I'm not saying, again, that's because I had the training and everything, but for somebody that young and to be living that reckless and thinking that they can't be touched, again, where was he had security, but his security was just like probably, again, they saw something jump off, so they were like, okay, we're gonna meet force with force, and not realizing that the force they were going, that was coming back towards them, don't care, because again, just like how Chris Rock said, there are black people and then there are niggas. And he was hanging around a bunch of niggas. And him being a nigga himself, playing dice. You a millionaire or whatever, and you playing a dice game. A dice game, really. I mean, I understand, like, you want to hang out with your friend. You want to hang out with your friends. If you're going to hang with your friends, you do that with your friends. Like you say, people that you know you can be safe with. But it's just like, again, until I'm really not even a Migos fan. I really didn't listen to a lot of their music and everything. My thing is just always looking at the situation and how some of these rappers died. You know, again, me being from Memphis, I didn't really know about Dolph until he was shot and killed. You know, and that's a sad situation, whatnot, because from what I understand and things I heard after his passing, you know, he was trying to do things, you know, to better the community and everything in Memphis. That's something I would appreciate. With who was this, PNB or whatever, you know, again, he didn't they say that it was his girl that gave away his location and everything. Again, it's all about, I think in this generation with young people these days and everything, it's all about look at me. It's this whole look at me attitude. And people want to show off and show out and everything and not realizing that, yeah, you want eyes on you, but at the same time, the wrong eyes can be on you. And you can easily, you know, again, they see what you got. They know you slipping. They're going to go for it and get it from you, no matter what the cost.
That's true, man. So, Banger, come in. I agree with you, Kevin, man. You hit it on the head, brother. I agree with everything you said. Come in, Banger. What's your take? So maybe allegedly, before you go, allegedly, like you heard the guy say, you know, his security possibly fired first, which could have been the shot that hit him. You know what I mean? This is just all out of order. These brothers out at 2:30 in the morning. So there was a private party. There was a private party at a bowling alley for another rapper. And so after the party over, we talking, you know, 2 o'clock, they letting out. They did some at quote unquote nigga shit. They walked out of this place at 2 o'clock in the morning, went out in front of this establishment and start rolling motherfucking dice like they in the hood. These is motherfucking millionaires. We got to put this shit into context. It's some ignorant shit. Rest in peace, brother. But
showed that.
Huh. So what's your take, Banger? Just wanted to give you a little more to context.
I mean, I feel like, you know, when it comes to like making that type of money, millionaire status, I'm sorry. I'm changing. And I'm not changing to be that I'm better, but I'm making different moves to where my safety comes first. My environment is realistic. Yeah, I like that hood shit I already did. But guess what? It's not worth it. It's not. I get it. It's probably the energy, the flow, the fun. We're all people. But when it comes to that hood shit, you got to put that away, man. You have to nowadays. Before then, I mean, I'm 35. I've been that age. And like I said, these maturity factors have to come in to how you strategically move. And when you doing something like that, all eyes are already on you. You don't have to flash anything. They know. You know what I'm saying? You a public icon at that. You're going to get somebody go try something. Like what do they have to lose? So when you in situations like that, I can see going to a party. So we ain't gonna say you absolutely can't do anything, but to be like, hey, he's supposed to just him, the crew, yo, we in, get it in. I guarantee there was something to do. Smoke, drink, vibe, get some females, and get out. You can't stand on the block. I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't stand on no damn block right now. Being who I am, no. You got too much turf shit going on, jealousy. Everything is surrounded, and you put yourself in harm's way. And it's unfortunate that it had to happen. Everybody ain't coming for peace. We talking a dice game. That's money right there. I'll take that shit too if I ain't got it. And if you getting the best of me, why not? That's how people think in that type of ordeal, man. Hell to the no.
You know what?
Like,
I think Kevin
can't do that.
Kevin D touched on something. I think a question popped up on the screen, saying we keep saying the same things and we keep ending up back at the same place. And one thing about this platform, we are solution based. So Kevin D said, when he goes into, a room, he's looking for, escape routes. And I learned that, going to, my little fire academy. And that's that control your environment. You are an asset to your family and your community. A brother like Takeoff is a small ecosystem in himself. You have to be more responsible. So there you go. What lessons can we learn from these tragedies? Here's one. Learn to control your environment. There's a solution. I ain't gonna cuss. There's a solution. Because everybody's saying we keep talking and we ain't get to a solution. Control your environment. Know your worth. Know your value. And stay out the BS. There's a solution. Plain and simple. Control the environment. I think I'm as tough as they come. I ain't going to nobody's bar. I ain't gonna be on nobody's corner at a certain time of night. Ain't happening. Got too much to lose. And this is what we need to take from this. Not pointing fingers. We ain't up here pointing fingers. We analyzing so we can learn. Let's get that clear. And that's what we're gonna take from this at the very least. Learn to control your environment when you have responsibility, you're a responsible adult. And I like what you said, Kevin. I think you pointed towards a solution to this. Control the environment.
So part of that too, what people don't think about is controlling your environment is, you got to watch who you're with too. In this here instance, we found that, because of his uncle, his uncle was the one kind of egging everything on. And his uncle was the one where shots got popped off. Here, Takeoff just sitting back in the background, just more so chilling. From what I understand and what I hear, he's more the quiet guy, just kind of sit back chilling. But he's an innocent guy to where, part of that controlling your environment, you can be with the wrong person at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Like, we the people from Malakopa who are in this live here, we have two people that lost their lives in one day because one person, it was kind of a similar situation where one of his homies hit him. You know what I mean? And from there, you know what I mean? So 2 lives lost in a very similar situation. But again, it's your company that you be around. You know what I mean? If you're not supposed to be over here, like, why? Trouble's only going to come find you. You know what I'm saying? Or you going to it in a sense. You know what I mean? So that's a part of controlling your environment. People don't think that. I tell people all the time that I got full control of my world because I know who I'm letting into my world and who I'm not letting in. You know what I mean? I'm keeping everything else at a distance. So you're not even over here if I don't even trust to be around you. Like, it's not even happening. You know what I'm saying? So you got to definitely protect your peace and got to protect your environment at any cost. You got to watch the people you're around, most importantly, because if they got a mouth on them and some pop off, you there with them.
I have to say that when we talking about controlling the environment, he relied on that security. That was the issue too. He put his trust in that all out for protection. So some of the solution was being brought about like, hey, at least I got security. We got to see why he, was like, I could be out like this because I have security.
But the thing is, I think there's a certain group of rappers that we've seen that just act reckless like this. You don't expect to see Drake or Jay-Z out in a situation where they go to a party and then they decide they want to go in the cut and play a dice game. It's only these, again, I don't want to be an ageist or anything, but it's only these younger rappers that you see that act this way. Like, would we almost see like Wayne do something like this now, even though we know his lifestyle and everything, but do we think that Wayne has grown in himself to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm a mega millionaire, mega star and whatnot. I'm gonna go over here and still show that I'm hood and grounded. You go play a dice game with the fellas over here in the cut.
That's true. That's true, man. Was you coming in, Ed? I see you wanted to go ahead.
Yeah, I just had to refresh. My bad. Just to add another thing, look at the time of night they was out, 2:30 at night. I get it. You went to an event. All right, cool. You made it out of there. get to where you got to get to. Get back home, then get in the studio, then just get away from the BS. Then, like you said, you out past 10, 12, you in the hood or whatever. Your chances of shit happening is just gonna be higher and higher. Then it may not even be your fault. It's just people out there, and at that status, they looking at you as a target. Hey, sometimes
But
it be your own people.
true. But I mean, you got to think about, again, he was 28. I mean, how many of us on this panel are over 30, over 40?
I'm
When we
43.
were,
I know.
I think we all over 35.
when we were in our 20s, like I was trying to think, all right, what was I doing at 28 and where was I? You know, what club was I trying to get into, whatnot, at a certain time or whatnot, you know. And again, most things don't start popping until, you know, depending on where you are, you know, 1, 2 o'clock. So as far as his age and everything else and him being out, again, that's his world. That was his world. That's how he operates. And I think that to him, that was his comfort zone. And so, you know, we can't say, I don't think we can really say on here, you know, yeah, at 2:30 in the morning, you know, what was he doing out? He's an entertainer. You know, they're going to be out at the time entertaining, doing stuff. So,
and there we go. I want to talk on that. So, you know, that's what entertainers do. That's part of his world. That's part of his life. This is all engulfed in the current culture. That's the culture of today's, you know, rappers and entertainers, is being out like that. And it's simply not okay. You're correct. Yes, this is their quote unquote norm. This type of activity at this age, like you said, where would we be? At the same time, no disrespect to nobody, but I know ain't none of us seeing them kind of figures, and ain't none of us got those kind of responsibility, and we definitely didn't at the age of 28. Like I said, brothers like Takeoff, God rest his soul, they are small ecosystems. They take care and employ people. You know, like they are not easily replaced. So you're right. You know, it's definitely an age thing. But what we need to do is value, you know, our overachieving men and women more. And, you know, it should have been, hey, I feel like my opinion, it should have been people in his corner, his friends, like, hey, we ain't doing this. This ain't what time it is. That's what I mean. We have to start valuing ourselves more and know that it's not okay to have Takeoff out here rolling dice at you know, 3 a.m. with real life active wolves. Like you can smell the danger in the air. You know what I mean? And I'm always gonna say, you know, where's his friends? This man is valuable. Where is his support group? I got to question these things.
Okay.
Okay. That environment was just too. That environment is dangerous, and that matters. Your environment. You can hang out at 2:30, 3 o'clock, wherever. You got to be safe, though. Absolutely safe.
Can you really, though? Can you really hang out at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning? Is that really a logical decision?
You're not gonna hang in the hood.
Well, here we go.
Hang in the.
Well, there we go. Most people. I mean, if you out that late, maybe at like a casino or some shit, right? But
we go. Outside of gamble there.
Yeah, outside. There we go. So that's hitting on a whole nother point. So I'm gonna let you get in here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come on in, man. I see this brother on the podcast. If you haven't checked him out yet, man, go over and check his out on YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong. This brother doing some good things over there. I see you got the ladies over there. Salute, man. That's some good shit you got. So what you think, man? What you think about what you hear is what happened with this brother Takeoff?
I just think it's a bad situation altogether. You know what I mean? I saw some videos, you know, I guess, I don't know what you guys have already said and everything on here, but I've just heard things of, you know, he wasn't involved in the dice game.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
He wasn't the one actually shooting dice. He was just kind of there, wrong. I don't want to say wrong place, wrong time, but I heard it was a stray bullet that came from someplace else. You know,
well, we sort of hit on, you know, the fact that we sort of went down this hole that they say his security guard fired first, and that's probably who, who he got. Okay. So his security fired first, and then I guess the people may have fired back.
Okay,
you know, we sort of touched on that a little bit.
But all in all, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm just sad for it. You know what I mean? Because we just keep seeing it over and over and over and over. And now it's at the point of it's just kind of like, all right, well, who's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And then are we becoming desensitized to this?
Yes.
You know what
Yes,
I mean?
we
It's
are.
like, oh, there's another one. Okay, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's disheartening to see. You know what I mean? And then from what I understand, and I'm not a huge Migos fan. I like their music when I hear it or whatever the case is. But they say he was, the most favorite of the three. You know what I mean? The one who I guess caused the least amount of problems out of the group. And everybody respected him, liked him, good guy all the way around. And it's just sad that somebody like that is taken away from people. Like you said, these people have money to where they employ people and they're not easily replaced. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a big hurt to a lot of families that depended on him to make certain moves, and now that's all gone for real. But again, like I said before, our mindset now, or I know mine, I'm just kind of like, you want it to stop, you would hope it would stop, but who's next?
Well, like you just hit on, I heard we talk about controlling our environment, right? But just recently, maybe within the last week or so, also the rapper Young Durk, or Lil Durk, whatever his name is, he was just in a shootout in his home.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got into a shootout inside his house with one of his quote unquote friends. Maybe they tried to rob him or something. Something happened. They had a whole shootout inside the house.
So he's in his house, not in the hood, you know what I'm saying, but just got some homies kicking him with him at his crib.
Some people you think you're home.
These guys' lifestyles they're not living like.
So what do you do with a situation like that, Gav? You got some people in your house who you think is really your friends and something like that. Can you shield yourself from that, really?
Well, here we are. So we start talking about, it's such a stigma in our community where people say, don't leave the hood, quote unquote. Like, it's almost like you try to shame people who acquire some wealth and they move out the hood. And them people get shamed, but yet all this evidence, when you go to Young Dolph, Nipsey, you can go on and on and on, showing examples on why we should leave the damn hood. I think
most of the rappers who get killed usually get killed where they from.
Even look like a Chief Keef. That brother was out of control. He done removed himself from the hood and all that BS, and you don't see him and hear him in the news no more. He online playing video games. He on Twitch and playing video games, making millions of dollars and shit. He done changed his whole shit up.
But then you figure some of those dudes who get money, like somebody else from Chicago, King Von, who got killed, a couple years back now. He just did what he did out there in the streets or whatever the case is. Came out, became like a success damn near overnight. So now you have this mentality that has never really been able to been changed, and now you're a millionaire. So is it kind of hard for you to, let me take myself out of these environments when this is kind of all I know? And then even when he did leave the environment and move to Atlanta with Durk, he ends up getting killed in Atlanta. So
I tell you what,
can you really escape that life? You know what I mean? Regardless of where you go, can you really escape?
I tell you what,
who you are.
Here's the thing too. Again, rest in peace to the brother. We are all ultimately responsible for our own outcomes, and that the individual you brought up, this King Von, that individual did some egregious shit. I believe he killed children and women.
I would call this
watch that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying. This is a tough one, So to heck with him. He can go ahead and burn in Hades. He was out here deleting children and women. So you say, can you escape it? Some stuff you can't escape. Karma is very real. No. You know what I'm saying? So then there's that on the other end. You constantly looking over your shoulder. Big ups to the Chief Keef brother. Like you said, he out here, adapting to his environment and getting money the right way. And I hope he live a long, prosperous life. But some of these individuals, anybody, it ain't just celebrities. You try to leave a life behind, you can't act like it never happened. And sometimes, like I said, as a man, you got to deal with it at some point.
Is rap the most dangerous job in America?
Yeah. So I was about to hit on that. I'll let you get in here and there we go. How do you end it? You make all this money, remove yourself. Don't you understand? people who remove themselves for raps, like a Chamillionaire or a Keith Chief we just mentioned, these guys make 10 times more money outside of rap. So it all got to do with this hood shit, this ego, and it's a cultural thing. It has nothing to do with the money because you can make more money outside of this mess. You can make your money initially and then remove yourself, but they get so caught up with the ego and wanting to be, big fish in small pond. You're obviously getting all the women, and it's a whole deal that comes with it. But go ahead, Ed. What was you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say that I think a lot of these cats maybe they come from the hood, but they not really in that life like that, and they surround themselves with cats that are, and that automatically bigger target at that moment. Then, so remember back in the '90s, I know y'all remember the studio gangsters. Did I think you got a lot of them cats now that are studio gangsters, and I'm not even playing hard or nothing like that, but. Like I said, a lot of these cats maybe come from the hood, but they're not involved like that. But when you start getting that money, they start attracting these cats that's like that. And I guess that makes them feel tough or whatever. And it just puts a bigger target on your back then, especially for us, for our people, then. Because we're the ones that keep getting knocked off then, man. So what's y'all take on that?
So I don't think it's a process. You try to get in here, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll let you go. I don't think it's a problem with leaving the hood. I think any man acquires some wealth should leave the hood. I don't think you should turn your back if you can give resources and whatnot and help. That's another thing. You should not be living in the hood or loafing in the hood. You shouldn't even be driving through the hood. If you got to get home, take the long way. If it's going to take you an extra 15 minutes, take the long way and go home. Don't drive through the hood if you got some bread. Real shit. That's just what I would say, because at the end of the day, like I was telling Willie, you can go down south somewhere in the backwood countries of Georgia and pull up to some diner that's ran by the grandmaster of the clan and go in there and eat dinner. And he might spit in your food, but you're going to walk out there alive. We can't go into the hood. You're walking with your diamonds on and all that. Ain't nobody going to rob you. Nothing. You walk out there. You might have food poisoning or something, but you're going to be alive. You go into the hood, go into Roscoe's Chicken with your diamonds on. See if you make it out.
I just want to add to that, Gavin. That's what era we in. It's the flossing era. Everybody want to shit on everybody. You want to shit on your fellow black man. You want to pull up to the hood and phantoms and all that stuff, all this jewelry on, and you thinking people love you. And you might got some cats there that love you, but most of them people envy you. And they gonna take your shit, and then sometimes it be the ones that's closest to you, and that's real talk. That is real talk. Some treacherous stuff, but that's real talk, then, man. Because a lot of these cats be getting set up by their own people, then.
Because people try to say there's no such thing as black on black crime. I beg to differ. I don't think all black folks or black people are violent, obviously, but of course, if the statistics say we are 13% of the population. But it also says we're responsible for 40% of the violent crimes out of all people. So if we're only 13% of the population, but responsible for 14% of the fucking violent crimes, there's an issue going on we need to address.
Exactly.
One of the things I had wanted to say was when Mr. Correct me if I'm wrong, it said that we're still not learning, is because these people don't think that it'll happen to them. They think that, again, that they're above all of this and that they're untouchable. We talked about, again, the people that he was hanging out with. There's two ways of thinking about this, because it's like you say, you make money, you get, all this money and everything is coming in and whatnot, but you feel like, who can I trust? Because I got these new people that I'm meeting, and I'm wondering if they're trying to get in my pockets and whatnot and scam me out of money. And so you feel like, okay, I'm gonna bring my friends from the hood because I know all of them and I've been around them and everything, and they know my story and they knew me before I had money and whatnot. And so you bring them up. So again, you're in this new lifestyle. You may be trying to operate in this new lifestyle, but your friends, all they're thinking about is just having fun off of your dime. And being around you and absorbing all of that energy and everything, and not necessarily being, the most careful about make sure that everything is maintained as far as your lifestyle, because again, they're just trying to get what they can get there in that moment. So it's like, what can you really do? I mean, I know what I would do, but I'm just saying, in general, what can you really do? Because what are these people being taught? What are they being said? You know, what are they being told as far as, you know, hey, look, you know, we understand you got money now. You're in a position where you have more money. You might need to be a bit more careful about these things. Is anybody pulling them off to the side and telling them you might be a little bit more careful about these things? You know, I know that these are your friends, but at the same time, maybe you need to take your friends and pull them off to the side and be like, look, you know, when we do things, and, you know, if you want to be in my circle, you got to behave this way. You can't be out here just doing any and everything. I know y'all want to have fun and I want to have fun, but, you know, again, we got to be more careful about the way that we move now, because now we, you know, 10 levels up from where we used to be. Now we got more attention, and that leaves us open to a whole lot more, you know, unscrupulous acts from people and everything. So that's how I look at it. That's what I think of. You know, like you said, when it's, you know, how here it is again, here it happened again. Another rapper, another young black rapper shot and killed over something, probably something stupid that they probably either had no business being at, or something of their own making because of some beef with some person over something so trivial.
That's true, man. That's so true. Darnell, I see you want to get in here, man. What's your thoughts?
I mean, we touched on it a little bit last week, man. It's just, it comes down to just brotherly love, man. Like, literally, like, just start with us, man, and just start passing the brotherly love, as we discussed last week. Just kind of like you see a brother nod your head. You know, it's a vicious cycle right now. You know, it's a ignorant cycle. The kids nowadays, they don't care. Like, you know, these young folks, man, I don't know how they getting guns just left and right, man. Like, where they getting these guns from? You know what I mean? Like, where the parents out? You know, we already asked all these questions, man. It's just, where do you truly start, man? The only thing I can do is just brotherly love, man. That's the only thing I can say.
So real quick, you say, where do we start? Let's try to find some solution. First thing first, where is the black church in all this? Where do they have any responsibility with the youth today? Because I know we's growing up, they were involved more with the youth growing up. So, you know,
Absolutely, man. I just think that the church's image has changed over the years. Since when we was in church, you know, we was kind of, you know, obviously forced to go to church. You know, I know my parents' generation, they definitely was forced to go to church. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, the image then and the image now it's just not the same. You know, people, you know, that shit ain't real and keep it moving type. You know what I mean? To them, you know, or I would say to even my generation, like a lot of our generation didn't even see a lot of the benefits. You know what I mean? Or they didn't seek to find the benefits. And if you ain't getting the benefit, or if you feel like you're not receiving anything, I feel like there's no attraction. You know what I mean? So you got to find a way to get these kids off the streets and attract them into the churches. But again, you got to look at these images that's coming out in these churches. You find more of you know, male and male allowance and whatnot. That's hypocrisy. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be hypocritical and then say come to church at the same time. So it's like, I'm not trying to be a part of this image in a sense. So the church definitely got a lot of I feel like missing parts of where it's just they're not there, they're not present.
Okay,
in the right areas.
I'll get you in here. My thing was, I definitely wasn't saying that we need to sort of take people to church. My thing is, they have the most resources in the community. So whether it be, you know, coming from the state or the federal level or whatever they can pull resources from, obviously they got things, you know, bills to pay, whatever. But I would think there's more resources to give back. Are they targeting? Are they doing things correctly? Are they giving any resources?
You know what? I know we touched on this before, and you know, I do believe in my heart that, you know, our generation is missing that moral grounding. You know, as a young kid, I fell in love with the Old Testament. It was very clear cut and dry. It made sense. And it gave me myself a very strong moral grounding. You know, do right by people. Don't abuse people. You know, don't be hateful and spiteful, how our culture tends to be. So I do believe that, you know, the church does have responsibility, as Gavin said, especially in our poor, more disenfranchised communities. The church does have the most resources by far and the most influence, which is the biggest thing in today's culture, influence. And the church still does have that. And it starts, I believe, it starts with the men in the church, and that's a whole nother deal. But I do believe the church, it would be a shame. I feel like we all have some responsibility in this to help change the culture. And I believe the church would be at the forefront, because me personally, I don't believe we have any chance without any type of some fear of somebody higher than ourselves. And a lot of these young men and women, entertainers out here taking care of families, they have no real grounding. They don't have friends, elders, family members talking to them, putting these convictions in them. Zero accountability amongst friends, family, and the church. There appears to be zero accountability, and I feel like that's why we are here. There's no solid value for human life. People, I didn't even know that people was recording this man, on the ground like that. It's sick. We are extremely desensitized, and I do believe that damn near all of this stuff is systematic, but we can't use that as a crutch and say, oh, now there's nothing we can do about it. I believe that we need to take every last one of these instances, keep analyzing them, and come up with solutions. And I think one of the biggest ones is controlling our environment in this one. You got to, whether it's via your friends holding you accountable, whatever, you need to learn to control the environment. If you think you are worth it, if you think you're valuable enough to people, you should protect the environment. If you don't think you're worth a damn, then continue to go on and act ignorant. But yeah, I do think the church has a hand in this.
Okay. So like you said, go ahead, Banker. Was you coming in? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the church, they play a part, man. It's just like I just heard it, you know what I'm saying? They have to actually put the footwork outside as well, besides having church itself outside. They actually have to put footwork in for change. Coming on those blocks when these kids are out there, coming in the community and actually doing things besides, okay, we having a cookout once in a blue. You got to be out there a lot. You got to have programs to keep these kids busy if you have the resources. And all of them, majority of them ain't going to church. That ain't the era we in. We talk about our peers. They're not church-going people like that. You know what I'm saying? Most parents is working half the time, let alone sending their kids to Sunday school and church like we was raised on. Our parents were older. Not all of us, but, I could say I was, you know what I'm saying? And that developed my structure and discipline. Now, can I say about the masses? Man, we at a deficit. And we just have to face that because we in a new era. So the church, yeah, they could do that, but is it likely? Unless you put the footwork in, no. So, you know what I mean? That's their job, community-based, but that has led to more organizations doing things now. Small organizations having things for kids. It ain't the church no more. It used to be. It's done, man. It's done for the church to do it. We just got to be honest about it. Unless we go in that type of environment and do it ourselves, it ain't happening, man. We ain't changing shit.
Okay. So Kevin, what you think? Kevin, come in.
I was gonna say, again, it almost seems like for our generation, the church and the village raised us, but it's like now in this generation, it's the streets and the media. And mainly it's just, again, the social media that's raising them. Because, we talk about, okay, what is the church doing? What can the church do? The church has there's no fame in the church. Right now, all it is fame. Look at me. Look how many views I got. How many people are paying attention to me? Get the likes up and this and that and whatnot. And like you were saying, like how, Brother Walker was saying, it's the whole thing of desensitization to everything, because we've seen everything that's under the sun now has been projected on here. And it's just like kids these days don't care. They know what they're doing is illegal, but they don't care because they're more motivated by the praise that they get for doing something stupid and having a video of it than they would be, of what could happen and the consequence of what happens of their actions. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's just like, how do you battle that? How do you battle that? And the only thing I can think of is that you have these major entertainers realize that, that they have this influence and that they need to shift the influence of, this whole look at me to look at us, look at all of what we can accomplish and what all we can do if we do this together and do it the right way or do it this way that's more positive than just look at me and I got all this and look at look at all I got in the background because I did this and I was in the hood and doing this and whatnot, and yeah, I'm back here and everything, and still look at me and look what I got.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right, man. Like you said, people there, they say they saw nothing, and at the end of the day, we are at the precipice going into 2023. I think there will be a separation of class within the Black community. And I think it's necessary. I don't think you see any other community of people where you don't see millionaire fucking Asian men out here rolling dice with fucking poor Asian folks or common Asian folks, right? Or any other ethnicity. Nobody does this to where they think we can all get along and live together in the same community in harmony. From the rich to the poor to the milk people, the guy, the garbage man, can live next door to the fucking billionaire, can live next door to Kanye West or some shit.
I don't know, man. I'm out here playing that bid whist, man. That bid whist. That's where it's at.
What's that? Hold on, what's that about?
The bid whist. You never heard that old card game people used to play?
Okay. Okay. Then listen. There's no, that's in the movies, man. That don't exist in real life. So I think there has to be a separation, right? Because if you got resources like that and people say, well, these guys are in the hood all the time and stuff they don't get deleted every time they go in the hood. Well, I think if you got bread and you're going to the hood, it's almost like somebody who goes to the casino every day. If you can go one time and hit and you win, right? You go to casino every day 4 or 5 times a week, you're going to be poor before you know it. And it's kind of the same thing when you're rich hanging in the hood. All right, nothing happened this time, nothing happened that time. But the more and more you keep hanging in the hood, some of this type of behavior is going to happen to you. It's too much evidence. So
I think, you know what, me and Gavin, we like to make the difference between, possibility and probability. If it's a probability that I can be deleted going into this environment, I simply shall not go. Anything is possible, and that's a coverall, so I don't like anything is possible. Probable. If it's probable that I will be deleted in this environment or harmed or hurt or put in a compromised situation whatsoever, knowing that I have a family and a large group of people that depend on me, I simply shall not do it. Accountability. Everything always going to lead to lack of accountability. I promise.
that's true, man. So like I said, there is no place where we all can live together in harmony. So we at the point where, the people who have the resources going to have to separate from the people who don't. And we sort of we're going to have to keep it that way, not meaning turn our backs. Because here's the thing, people think all Jewish people get along. No, they don't. They just stick together. And the rich Jew, no, this poor Jew, if we all stick together, all right, you can get some of my resources, but I might not like you, but I know this is for the greater good. And we don't think like that. We think we all must get along for us to, no. Mind your motherfucking business, contribute, and do the right thing, motherfucker. That's a goddamn movie. Everybody need to go watch that shit. Do the right thing, man. God damn, whatever happened to that? So here we are. I'm going to share my screen with y'all real quick. So right after this happened, I don't know if y'all seen this, but Deion Sanders, he got his team down in there, and they're down in Houston right now getting ready for a football game. And here You know, he's telling all his players they can't leave the hotel because it's so dangerous out there right now.
I'm sick and tired of the consistency of people that are influential to you are leaving us consistently. That's our rappers. Takeoff was right murdered in a dice game in Houston, where we're going. So that eliminates all y'all leaving that hotel because it ain't happening until I give you fucking notice. So whatever her name is, whoever she is, parents, everybody, they're gonna come to the hotel to visit you because y'all ain't leaving. Sooner or later, we got to start changing our addresses, guys. That's an analogy to saying, I know we this, but we ain't that. We got to leave that behind that we once did. And that's what you guys are. Now you guys are Jackson State royalty. You ain't know, man. You're not whoever you were a year ago. You're not even who you're going to be a year from now, which is a blessing. But you can't continuously do the things you've always done and expect to get the results. There's going to have to be a change. All of us have gone through drastic changes. Have we, coaches? Have we, coaches? All of us are still evolving into what God has called us to be, and that's change. You cannot kick it with the same dudes you kicked it with. You cannot kick it with the multitude of women that you kick it with. You cannot associate in the same realms that you associate with. You're going to have to change if you expect change. You can't do it. It's going to come to a time, they can talk about you, they can mock you, they can ridicule you, they can cuss you out, they can clown you, whatever they want. But you're going to have to separate sooner or later. You're going to have to disconnect. Sooner or later, you're going to have to. So get that in your spirit. I'm sad because it just seems like it's always us. But we want to say we matter. We want to say we keep it in 100, but it's always us. Now we lose another soldier to some bull junk that when we look back at it, the gentleman going to say, dang, now his whole life changes. Because now he's incarcerated or murdered in a consequence of what transpired. Because you know how the game is played. And I don't want y'all playing that foolish game because y'all are valuable to your families, friends, loved ones, and you're valuable to us. All right, let's think about that. Let's pray for the families. Ain't got no time. Ain't got no time to take foolishness. Let's go get it.
So that's Coach Prime there. And he hit on some things like I was just saying. It's their time to separate, right? Because a lot of times you can just make the smart decision a lot of times. And you pull up outside the club and you might look in the parking lot and you see a bunch of fucking Dodge Chargers and Challengers in the parking lot. You might want to reconsider, right? You walk inside the club. You see a bunch of young men walking around, sagging their motherfucking pants. You see a bunch of women walk around saying, hey, hey. You might want to reconsider where you at, depending on where you at financially. All this shit is red flags. Like maybe you ain't got nothing. Call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. I don't give a fuck. I walk in there and see that bullshit. I'm going back to the car. Get the fuck. This ain't for me. I ain't got time for that shit. And the farther we go up this ladder, because I know just for me being where I'm at in life, I had to separate myself from so many fucking people. Probably damn near everybody. I damn near had to fucking go on this island by my goddamn self and rebuild myself and come back out. And I sort of separate myself from it. I sort of keep it that way. You know what I mean? And I can't fall back into some of the same bullshit. So people can say whatever they want. I don't think there's nothing wrong with sort of, you call it turn your back or whatever. But if motherfuckers is pulling you down, a lot of people are boat anchors in your life. Simple as that. They motherfucking anchors to your boat. And if you ain't gonna clip that shit so you can move forward, you got to address this shit. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to this brother. And hopefully we can start seeing this shit and like separating ourselves. Ain't no way you got millions of dollars and you hang around some ignorant ass niggas. There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. Separate yourself, brother. Don't even take the probability, said the possibility, the probability, whatever the chance is that you could possibly be deleted, right? For the jewelry, they said his brother had like $1 million worth of jewelry when he died. Crazy shit. 2:30 in the morning. Man, And here we are. We can hit on things like, you know what I mean? The kind of, we do the show Single by Choices and why so many people are single in the community. But who's to say if these brothers weren't married men, like the brother Offset, he married to Cardi B. He was at home with his fucking wife, right? These guys are still on the scene. So this got a lot more, goes deeper, man. We got to quit playing these fucking games. Quit playing these games, brother.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, like the whole jewelry thing is, you can't, rest in peace to the brother Takeoff. We gotta be most careful. $1 million, $500,000, $250,000 worth of jewelry in these desperate environments. I believe there's an analogy, of the poor man that lives next to the rich man. Eventually, if that rich man don't break bread the way that poor man sees fit, the poor man's going to attempt to take what the rich man has. And that's a known happening whenever there's that anxiety amongst the rich and the poor. Once you get your money, once you have acquired the bag, as this culture loves to say, you must remove yourself from that environment. Otherwise, you risk being deleted in heinous fashion. It's not worth it. And watching this, seeing that brother laid out on the ground, it continues to desensitize us. It does. Even myself, a lot of times, me and Gavin talking and shit, it's because we have analyzed ourselves. We've been desensitized. We done drove down Pittsburgh, in the middle of broad daylight and seen a brother dead in his car. Broad daylight. I mean, I'm talking about like 2 p.m. down on Smallman Street. Driving right past here, brother just shot up in his car. And people just going about their day. Why? Most likely because of his skin tone. It's a normal occurrence. It's a normal thing to see. We must desensitize. We must become sensitive to seeing black faces laying in the gutter. It can't continue to be a thing. This culture is toxic. There's nothing good about it. People want to jump on Kanye, one of the most resourceful brothers that we have, and want to jump on him, because he says, to heck with this culture. What good is this culture doing for anybody? I want someone to tell me, give me one good thing about today's culture, one good thing as far as building a family and taking care of the kids that are going to inherit this earth. What good is this culture? I want one person to make an argument for this current culture.
Because I am who I am, I'm going to just say, now Kanye has made a lot of money, way more money than any of us will probably ever see. Can we agree on that for the most part? But did he get to where he's at because of the culture? If it wasn't for we talking about just black culture in general, or the violence of what it's become as far as that culture? Because when I'm saying as far as black people, actually, we was the ones really rocking with him at first for him to become who he is. No. So I feel like the culture that he was, he wanted to be, that he was a part of so early on, I feel like without our culture, maybe he is not who he is at the end of the day.
You know what? And I love the fact that they're continuing to bring up, old footage of Kanye, because my argument is, since we're going on the Kanye thing, and I'm a fan, Kanye has always been this way. Kanye has always bucked the system since college dropout. The only reason why I really like him because he bucked the system. Yeah, he out here getting it how he live, but Kanye was always defiant, always, and that is not a good reason to call him crazy. It ain't nothing wrong with bucking the system. The system ain't for us. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But I think Kanye has never changed. I don't think he pandered to the culture and then shifted at all. Kanye more or less. Yeah, I ain't no Kanye super fan, but the brother's under attack, and I feel like he needs some defense because I do not see how people are so quick to jump on this brother. But yeah, the culture is crap. The culture is shit, and I feel like there is no defending it at all.
I've got
Hey,
one thing.
I just have to try to play the opposite side.
Oh,
of it,
for sure.
So,
I got one thing. I got one thing to say that this culture probably has taught people for, in a sense, a positive. That all you really need at this point is a video channel, a beat, and a creative dance to possibly get famous for your 15 minutes of fame. And that's what everybody at this point now is striving for, instead of, you know, again, you got some people out there that's trying to do the right thing by teaching others how to be, you know, more on their grind, more of a millionaire and everything. But overall, this culture has taught you that if you can get that instant fame, that one little thing that you've done, that little TikTok dance, or, you know, some little thing, some instant, you know, some video, you can become famous, and you can possibly stretch that out for longer than the 15 minutes. So it's all about getting those likes, getting those, you know, views and everything else. And if you can do that, then you can grow that to something else. So
Make
I mean,
bread.
that's the only thing I can say that is positive as far as this generation now.
Okay. So I'll get you in here, Ed. We sort of hit on the church, right? But let's bring it full circle, because tomorrow is election day. And as much as we get pander, I don't know about y'all, but I get fucking text message across my phone every fucking 15 minutes. I don't know how the fuck they get my number. I said, it's some bullshit. But so here we are. You got all this. They can text us every 5 minutes, but they can't come in the community and dump no resource and try to help no goddamn body with some real solutions. So where do you stand on people that's going to go out and vote for these people, and we get no reciprocity, right? What's your take on it, Ed?
It's a double-edged sword. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't at this point, man. Because, like you said, no, they do all the talking. They come to your church if you go to church. They come to your community center. They knock on your door. Oh, and all these promises. But as soon as they get elected, it's just. But I think too, as a people, we got to start putting more pressure on them. As everybody hit on good points. Like, if we're foolish to believe these other races don't come together as a majority and go to these politicians and like, hey, this is what we need. You want our vote? Boom, this is what we're gonna need. And that's what we need to do as black folks, but we can't do it. And then that's maybe another thing for the solution. Come together, like you said, we ain't gotta like each other, but we got issues that need to be resolved, and they're only gonna be resolved as a majority. Everybody, not everybody on the same page, but shit, you get 75 to 80% of people on the same page, you get some of this shit resolved.
it's a high percentage.
Exactly. It is a high percentage, but I'm just throwing that out there. But as far as with the voting and all that, that's what we need to do. Find a solution for that. Go to these politicians like, hey, this is what we need as black folks, man. It's real talk. We don't care about no other race. And that's not we not dissing any other race, but we got our own issues. Like, this is what we need. You want our vote? This is what we need from you. We need a sign and seal that if you voting for you, this is what we gonna get. Hey, fair exchange ain't no robbery then, right?
Mm-hmm. I think as far as sticking together and getting over that obstacle of sticking together, my opinion, I believe we need to just, as black people, specifically, need to just start supporting each other with a bias, just because. And I know I practice that. I don't give a crap if you got something going on, and you know what I'm saying. You a black person trying to make a positive change, and you trying to make a positive change in the world, and with just yourself. I'm supporting it. I don't care. You know, you could be selling, tomatoes. I hate tomatoes. I'm gonna buy them anyway. I'm gonna support ignorantly, and that's how, because we working against extremes. So I feel like we need to get extreme and just support each other no matter what. I don't have to like everything you say, but if what you're doing is great for the greater good of yourself or whatever, but it's for good, just support regardless. I feel like that's where we are, and that's how we need to start approaching each other. It don't matter what this other individual got going on. Let's just support it as best we can. I ain't even got to like the way your voice sound. I'm still gonna support you.
Real talk.
Okay, Banger, I thought you was coming in there. But yeah, Willie, you hit on a lot of stuff, man. We got to support each other. So here we go. So boom, we talked to voting full circle. How do y'all feel about the school system? You got a lot of these boys are graduating at a 4th grade level. So when you see, and a lot of these boys are single raised boys. So they got a lot of feminine energy and they emotional and right, and they can't necessarily articulate themselves. So what's the fastest thing they gonna do? Violence. They can't talk some of this stuff out. I know if I get into some shit right now, I'll be able to talk my way out of some shit. And motherfucker ain't got nothing to do with being no hoe, because I ain't no motherfucking hoe. I tell you that right now. But you gotta be smart. You can't down every motherfucking hill. You can't, you know what I mean? Motherfucker step on your shoes or some shit. Come on, man. Ain't nobody in the world waking up gang banging over this shit. So the school system is failing these boys when they pushing them out reading at this 4th grade level. And then you get these young Offsets of the world and Takeoffs, rest in peace, brother. And you know what I mean? Over a dice game and y'all get to fight. Y'all millionaires. You can't comprehend you got $1 million. You see what I'm saying? So the school system is failing these boys and they send them into the world. And next thing you know, you turn, 21, you can go get your concealed carry and then fuck. It's time to rock and roll. So
I mean, you got your designated, areas that's focused on that's the school systems are failing, because I feel like not all school systems overall, the design of the school system, yes, it's failing for sure. Because the whole system is just effed up. But when you look at the black school systems, it's even more effed up. You know what I mean? Because I'm in high school seeing books from the 95 class, having signatures in the back, talking about class of 95 XYZ. Like, we got old school everything, cleats from football, books in the schools. My daughter asked me today, Daddy, you guys have tablets when you was in school or laptops? Hell nah. We ain't had no damn laptops in school. You know what I'm saying? This is equipped. So, I feel like, the black community, when it comes to the schools, obviously, they don't give us all the resources. We don't have all the, we don't even got a track, at Al School. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's the government's fault, but just saying the lack of resources. So I just think that the overall system is obviously it's playing this course. It's designed to play this way here. So when we continue to sleep and play in this design system and not awaken, like us brothers here who can see that there's some flaws within the system, we need to change this, versus the ones that's out there wasting time and energy playing in the system. Well, let's go shoot this and do this and these hoes and this and that and the other. Like, you just feeding into what they promoting on TV. You feeding into what they want you to think that you are. You got to work in real life. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out here and get it and build something in real life. Like, what are you doing wasting time? Why are you doing this? Like, you don't have a purpose that you haven't found your purpose. So, we got to reach out to our brothers, man. It's work. You know what I'm saying? Like, to actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, it's not going to start with the 19-year-olds, the 22-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, sometime I'm on a job. I notice, a couple of times that I'm at, single mothers' households. They have young kids. Sometimes I'll ask the mother, hey, can I take them on my next job? Just to try to get them active and try to get them in the habit of working. They 14 to 16 years old. I want to just get them in the mindset, like, the mother's like, yeah, you need to work. I'm like, cool. I'm going to bring my next few jobs. Just want to start with us men taking control of our own communities. And no matter if you're going shopping, come on, boy, hey, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful nowadays, because some shit be going down with all this, oh, he touched me, he did that. But, if you want 100, you shouldn't have none of that bullshit ever come out. None of that. It should never come to that point if you want 100. But, if you're really trying to build, you got to pull a kid that you don't know. You got to get to know this kid and know where he weak at and try to build this man up. Because I tell you what, these mothers can't do it alone. These fathers out here lacking. You know what I'm saying? We got the system playing against us, and then we got our own race playing against us. So, it's a whole, you say double-edged sword. This is more like a triple through, you know what I'm saying, edged sword and shit. You getting attacked from all angles. So we fighting a very uphill battles. You know what I'm saying? Willie, you remember Coach Mark had us out there running them damn hills all the goddamn time. Well, imagine running those hills with damn rocks, chains and shit on your back. You trying to run these hills now. You already got struggles you got to go through just trying to survive, let alone everything else you got to go through. So, us as men, Just challenge yourselves to go out here and snag somebody. Get these young men. Hey, look, you're going to clean this carpet with me. I'm going to show you how to work this machine. This is stuff that we got to teach our men how to work, put their energy into something that this is something creative for them. You know what I'm saying? So give them something that they can look forward to.
I'll tell you what, you hit on something. I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick to what you just said. Because I know a guy, he said he was helping out a kid, right? Or he helps out kids just like you're saying. And he said a lot of times when you find yourself in them situations, the mom will sort of ruin the situation for the son because at that point she's trying to figure out what can she get out the deal. And it's a lot of selfish behavior as to why, and obviously like you hit on for other reasons, but that's a big reason. I heard a guy say, look, he'll be helping out a kid, but then the mom will be texting them and trying to get stuff out of them and, you know, trying to, and so you got that side of it, especially if you're a man, a married man and shit like that. You know what I mean? So you got to deal with that.
Hey, but Gavin, you know one thing though, you 100% right on that, brother. It is the mothers that be holding the sons down. I'm saying you hit on that, bro, because me and my wife just went through that. You know, I was trying to help another young man. The mother is holding this dude back from being a young adult. He's in trouble in school and all this other stuff. I'm trying to help guide him in the right direction, but the mother's so clingy to him, he could do nothing wrong. Like me and my wife just had this whole experience, man. It just went down, man. It's like literally what you just stated, brother. The mother is basically, again, you can't save them all. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, go out here. Like I've had a few that I passed up just because I know there's no chance. But for the ones, like, for instance, mother, like, yes, please, he needs something like this, da-da-da. Absolutely. And the young kid wanted to do some work. He wanted to work. So the ones that want the attention, you got to really put it to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be the ones that's going to help change our generations. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, we getting old. When we get 80, 90 years old, look at the generations that's responsible for taking care of us. Shit, y'all better stay in shape for life, goddamn, because you got to rely on these dudes for anything. They don't even know how to clean. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to put it into where, you know, where the kid is wanting to be. You know what I'm saying? He want to know. He want to grow now. He want to grow or not. So, yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely a big deal. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come in, man, because I want to get your take on it. Like you said, like I was saying, you out here, you trying to help this kid. But a lot of times these women are operating in a selfish mind state to where you would think they got the best. I want the best for my child. But no, it started getting real selfish, like, you know, FTK. And what am I getting out the deal now? You know what I mean? I know you want to help my son, but shit, this light bill due too. I need some, you know what I mean? I want you to take me out on a date or some shit or whatever it may be. You know, it can go down rabbit holes. So, you know.
I don't know, man. Like, that's iffy. You know, I guess with a situation like that is somebody trying to help your son. I guess you have to draw a line somewhere, you know. And then it was like, what? Hey, if I'm not trying to take you out or if I don't want to deal with you like that, you don't want me to help your son anymore? Is that kind of how this goes?
Yeah, be that kind of energy.
Well, I guess that's, I mean,
No.
I mean, it sucks, but it's like, man, you kind of got to, you know, I don't know. That's a messed up situation right there. You know, that's real fucked up. But it's like, even back to, you know, we are talking about the school systems. I come from the other side of the tracks of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So my experience coming up was a little different, you know, as far as school system, even though we were less than 3 miles, you know, right over the hill from y'all. But when I look at the, you know, and I do think that Aliquippa School District is starting to do things and go in the right direction with a lot of things due to a new, you know, superintendent, you know, Dr. Woods. He's came in, it seems like from my understanding, from what I'm seeing, you know, kind of changed a lot of things up. And like I said, having things go in a certain kind of direction. But when I look at we're talking about resources, when I look at, you know, the clubs and the extracurricular activities that the high school I went to offered compared to what I would look at, you know, Aliquippa was offering, you know, because my daughter's a sophomore in high school right now, and it's night and day. You know what I mean? It was like there was a club for everything, you know, bowling club, sign language club, you name it, we had a club for it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do see that Aliquippa is starting to implement more clubs and activities for these kids, because my daughter had an issue as far as, you know, she's smart, wanted to be, the National Honor Society, but she didn't have enough under her belt. You know what I mean? All you had was you played basketball. Your GPA is really good, but you don't have any clubs that you were doing. You weren't really participating in anything else outside of sports. And I'm not saying that Al Cooper wasn't offering anything, things that she could have done. But like I said, when you have the resources, there's a club for anything that you could possibly interested in. And when you don't have that in a certain school, it's, kind of get lost in the sauce with things. But I do like to see, and that's what we talk about voting. How important is it locally to vote a certain kind of way to get these resources for your school district? You know what I'm saying? So, well, I don't know, man. We get into politics and all of that, and where money goes and where it comes from and all of that. I'm illiterate with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But they say, voting locally definitely helps getting resources for your local school districts. And we all know the school districts where our majority us are usually on the lower end of resources. So, but I just wanted to say that, because I was able to see, going from a school that had a lot, to offer and see compared to a school district that my daughter attends, my brother, my sister, my mom, everybody graduated from that school, to see the differences of what they had compared to what we had. And it's kind of a crazy thing.
So like you said, what's left to do at that point? A lot of these kids, what do they know how to do? They know how to twerk, right? They can twerk all day long. They know how to TikTok by the age of 1. They know how to all the boys know how to rap. Everybody know how to throw a football. Everybody got a wicked jump shot. But motherfucker had the most wicked jump shot and can't string together a sentence or read a paragraph. So where are we? How are we still going down? We kind of had a conversation on this a while back, so I really don't want to bring it back up. But it all got something to do with it, man. Just do. The culture is backwards. You know what I mean?
And this is all designed because clearly we know it always wasn't this way. Of course, we had some fucked up shit, but nowadays it's just a lot different. And you always hear ain't nothing new under the sun. Well, there's a lot of new shit that seems like that's going on for, you know what I mean, with the up and coming generations. But I really wish I had the answers, man. I wish I had the answers to be like, hey, if we did this, we had more of that, things would just change, because I feel like it's going to take this is something that's not going to change overnight. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like a reprogramming. And like I said, my man, he was saying, got to get everybody on the same page. We ain't all got to like each other, but, getting on the same page. And that's something we really have an issue with as a people. I would think is just, people will call it staying on code. I don't like you today, but when it's one of my people versus the outsiders, okay, this is when we're going to come together and do what we got to do. And then tomorrow we'll go back to not liking you. Or, just going about my business, you know what I mean? But and getting us to being on that way, because as Black people, and I don't want to be long-winded, but, we argue over shit like religion. Who's voting for who? Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why can't we just, you're a Christian and you're a Muslim, you're an atheist, whatever the case is. And we're divided by so many things. I think it's difficult to get that 80% or 60%. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a long battle. I had a lot of faith that we were going to be able to do this and see something else like a Black Wall Street, but the more time goes on, I'm just kind of like, man, that's a ways away.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pull my screen back up, share this. I'll get you in here, Kevin, and because I wanted to say, because even in a situation like this, a lot of people will say, well, the guy ain't even in the ground yet, and you shouldn't be talking. But a lot of times we have to talk about this stuff because it's relevant and it means something to the culture. So I know there's two sides to the story, and Gilly come on and he talked about people, posting that video online, and I don't agree with that part of it. I don't think you should be showing us dying like this online. That's not good. It desensitizes us. So I'll play this video and I'll bring you in, Kevin, get your thoughts.
Why every time
something happened to a rapper or athlete or entertainer or anybody of color, the first thing you niggas do is pull your fucking phones out and start recording and post that shit on the internet, man. You niggas is clowns for that shit, man. Y'all niggas is clowns for that shit, man. The last image a motherfucker wanna see is they people laying on the ground bleeding the fuck out, man. Niggas be having mamas, kids, grandmamas, uncles, aunties, that's some dumb shit, man. But the first thing y'all niggas do is pull your phone out, ooh, look at such and such. Man, that shit ain't cool, man. For real, man. You niggas, that nigga just lost his life, and you niggas is trying to get likes. Tell me how that shit add up, man. You niggas, all you blind sites, y'all niggas is out of pocket, man. Y'all niggas be trying to get clickbait, you niggas is suckers, man. That man laying on the ground, bleeding out, and you niggas recording it and posting that shit on the internet, man. Y'all niggas is clowns for that shit. I'm telling you, man. This is the reason why I be hating niggas, man. I'm telling you, man. It's just be us. I be hating niggas, man. Shout out to fucking Takeoff, man. Rest in peace, man. Shout out to his family, man. We send our condolences to y'all for $1 million worth of game, man. Shout out to QC. Shout out to P. Shout out to Coach, the Migos, everybody, man. Hold y'all head, man. But y'all niggas gotta stop that shit, man. That shit is not cool, man. Rest in peace, man. Takeoff, man. Love you, Neff.
So here we are. Even Kanye hit on some stuff like this. So the very people that control these outlets that show these images are not our people. And that's BS, right? Because if any other culture of somebody else happened to, they would not show it all over the news like this. Especially not somebody, because you say what you want about the Migos, they ain't for everybody, but the guy, he was the goddamn legends in black culture. So you got to put some respect on that shit, one way or the other. So the way they can keep coming on here and, like you said, that's the last image. This brother got kids, mama, family. So I know that ain't the last shit I would want my mama see my black ass. Shit.
You know, it's all part of desensitizing the desensitization, if that's a word, of this culture. You know, it's sick whenever the brother Kevin Samuels died. We so desensitized at other black people we may not be fond of. There are actually people celebrating, you know, that brother's death, celebrating the brother, God rest his soul, the brother Kevin Samuels found out, his mother found out he had died from people making videos and celebration videos of her son dying. So just the culture, it ain't even just rap. Black people, we need to see the issue within ourselves and how we can be desensitized to a man's death to the point of, like I said, the brother Kevin Samuels, when people were celebrating and laughing, giggling about it. So yeah, and like you said, to see for this Takeoff's mother to have to see these images, his kids, his children. I'm gonna always, stand up for the children. These children are now traumatized. There's a real life superhero to them for sure. They got to see him like this, powerless. At least it's not right. It only creates more trauma. That's what we need to realize. You break out your camera, like Gilly saying, you breaking out your camera thinking shit's cute. You traumatizing kids. You are part of the problem. You part of the problem. If you ain't pulling out your phone to capture the killer or, to help solve the crime, you just doing it for clout and to post a video on Facebook, it's a special place for you. Seriously.
Charleston White said the people who be recording, those are the people who should get fucked up.
I agree. Woo, my man Charleston. Hey, that's my man. Daggone right. I agree. Again, just like a Kanye, people can't stand Charleston White because he condemns this toxic ass culture, and he makes an example out of this culture every chance he gets, and I love him for it. Real shit is shit, and they should. I agree. I pray to God I'm never in that type of situation because I have strong convictions about how I feel, and I will act on them, and I just pray to God I'm never in a situation where I'm experiencing some whole shit like that.
But if you notice, it's always us. It's always us. Like when these other entertainers and everything get in trouble and do stuff, we never see any video footage of them doing this stuff. We never see any video footage of them dead in the street or whatever. You know, one, because we know most of the time they may not put themselves in that situation, but when they do, we still don't see it. Because again, it's just everything I feel like is lax for us. You know, there's nothing, you know, it's like everybody else, like you say, you know, the other communities, the other races and everything, they don't allow themselves to be out there and just, you know, show any and every kind of way. Like I say, they come together like, all right, no, we're not gonna show this. We're not gonna let this escape out. No, don't put that out. But you got everybody now that's no longer living for the moment and living for themselves. They're living for the views and the likes. You know, you go to a concert or you go to a show, you go to an event, and everybody is like this, just holding their phone up, looking at it through the phone, instead of enjoying the moment and trying to remember it right then in the moment there and then and there. Recording stuff just so they can post so everybody else can see and everybody else can like, and if they can get the, you know, get that high off of that.
Well, it's a movie where I think Sylvester Stallone stars in it, and every remaining restaurant is Taco Bell. What's the movie?
Demolition Man.
There you go. I feel like that's where we had. I keep trying to make this reference to Gav, and Demolition Man is sick. I'm telling you, they be in the movie and they make love by not touching, and everything is very desensitized, and it's sick. I swear to goodness, and they keep building all these Taco Bells. it's about to be just like that.
We're not moving to Demolition Man. There's another movie that's so funny you may have heard of. It's called Idiocracy.
Yes, where the dumbest man on earth is the president, and in that movie was brother Terry Crews.
Right. That's what we're moving. It was so funny. It's like if you watch the first 5 minutes of it, it talks about, you know, the evolution of how their society had gotten so stupid. Is because all of the smart people decided, you know, oh, now's not the right time for me to have kids. I'm still trying to work on this. Now's not the right time to have kids because, you know, I'm not established where I need to be established yet. Now's not the right time. And now's not the right time turned into, well, now it's too late. Meanwhile, you know, you got the idiots running around having babies after babies after babies after babies and everything. And it's like, again, it's so societal that you get praised for doing the stupid stuff than you do more for the intelligent stuff. And that's where we are. I feel like that's where we are now. Everybody is getting more praise for doing the stupid stuff, the TikTok challenges, the look at me, this is what I did, or, you know, let me throw this in the air and or hit somebody with something and laugh about it, run for the police and do this, whatever, just for the views and everything. And it's just like it's bringing us down. You know, we talked before about, you know, the community and what groups to do, what groups, you know, are out there to do things to uplift everyone. And I was laughing because I remember when I was in college back in the 90s. I went to school at Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri. And so Miller, Missouri, nothing really to do. The only thing really that was going on were the Greek organizations. And during that time, everybody wanted to run the yard, basically. And it's like, you know, just as, you know, brother, correct me if I'm wrong, has said, people get mad and tribute over some of the stupidest stuff. You know, and during that time, the thing was everybody wanted to run the yard. We wanted to run the yard. And if it, you know, if the Qs did this, then, you know what, bump them Qs, we hate them because they had this event and they got more pub than we did. And so then we got to start doing stuff. But it was like, I started thinking about it and I'm like, okay, we're still in this small microcosm of a space, you know, in our own little, you know, college world and whatnot. But even though we competed the overall thing that we tried to do was uplift the school while we were there, uplift the people while we were there. So, yeah, we might have had a party, but at the same time, we did a, initiative to get people to vote. Yeah, they may have had a party, but then they also did a fundraiser, during that party for the Boys and Girls Club, that was around the corner. And so we there's a term that an old race car driver coined which was co-opetition. That's your competition, but at the same time, you're still working together to do something for the betterment of everybody else. So I think that's that's a whole nother thing to discuss. But it's like, not only just the churches, but also these other, Greek organizations and everything that you could be looking towards as well, to get out there, to talk to the youth and show them that there's difference than just trying to be, rapper, athlete, and online gamer, in life.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Banger, you coming in?
So I would just go say, like, I mean, if we don't change our culture with doing other things and subbing that stuff out, like he said, besides being a rapper and things like that, I mean, we doomed. It's absolutely doomed. Because nobody cares, you know what I'm saying? And nothing else is glorified but that. The negative is always glorified, man.
Hey, the faster they cut them reparation checks, you know what I'm saying? Now we have access to wealth, possibly generational wealth, and we can change some shit.
I tell you what.
Do that? Money
there you go. There you go, Kev.
Definitely help.
You beat me to it, Kev. Hey, you come on, man.
Hey, could help.
Hey,
there's two that
because I feel like there's more people who want to do right by the money than there are who don't.
No,
so I feel like that something like that could definitely change.
Well, you gotta be realistic. If there was gonna be realistic reparation, what would it be like? Would it be in the form of like $25,000? It wouldn't be enough.
Well,
go ahead, Banger. My bad, Banger. You breaking up. You breaking up, Banger. Bruh.
There's these money packages before. Yo.
He was breaking up, bro. Go ahead.
There, like, people weren't sitting there building themselves up when we was shut down and stuff. And everybody got this money with these so-called LLCs and stuff. Wasn't nobody doing shit. That's the same thing.
That's not true. A lot of people started businesses. From that
I'm just saying. How long they lasted though. They started that shit, bought cars, the shit they could buy, and still doing hood stuff, man.
There was a lot of people who
had
that money and did legit things with that paper, though. There really are. So I'm just saying,
I believe you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like you use that bread.
I feel like the majority of us would do right by the money if we have it.
Go ahead, Willie.
For brother Kevin and me, I know for sure what we thinking about is you can't give, our ignorant brothers and sisters a large amount of money and think they're going to go out here and buy life insurance policies, go secure a house in Florida so they can't leave it via taxes. Education must come first before you start handing over funds. Otherwise, motherfuckers just go. They just going.
You done seen it, quote unquote, the PPP revolution.
Yes, it's going to be bad. They're gonna be so ignorant. Chappelle depicted it the best, and it was a joke, but people actually did it. Like whenever that PPP madness happened, it was active drug addicts driving around with new used cars. It was wild.
That's what I'm saying.
It was wild. So there you go. It's safe to say that the PPP madness that took place was, that was as close as us Negroes gonna get to some reparations, and most of these Negroes got that money illegally and gonna have to pay for that in the long run. Very sick, but nonetheless, we had a chance to have a small window and see what happens when ignorant people, don't matter the race, when ignorant people get a hold of funds. They go to Cancun and they go out and they party to come home till their lights cut off. Miss me with that. We seen it in living color.
That's Walker. That's one. The other reference I was thinking about when you're talking about reparations is what Patrice O'Neal said. Do y'all remember that?
What did he say?
He's talking about, and I cannot do it justice. I cannot do it justice. But he was talking about, saying that right now, again, with black people getting reparations, if you give them money, all they're gonna do is go out and just buy stupid stuff. More sneakers, as he said, more sneakers, nigga.
Yeah.
And so he's like, here's the thing, if you want to give black people reparations, what you need to do is basically not tax them. And so, and a lot of people in the audience were like laughing and everything, but he was like, no, if you think about it, if, just say that little extra money that you have that you can save from not being taxed, that's going to create more spending. And with the creation of that spending, then that's going to, increase the economy and everything else. And again, I can't do it justice. You have to find and you have to listen to his explanation of it. But again, it's you increase spending because people got more money to spend. Because right now, again, everybody broke. Let's say majority everybody broke right now. Anybody spending no money. You're barely spending what you can just to make it vibe. But if you got all this additional money, hell, I just blew $1,000 last week buying some jewelry I didn't even need because I had a little extra money.
There you go.
Now, could I have spent it on something better? Yes. But you know what? I decided to be selfish for a minute.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. I'm a grown-ass man with an education, knowing that I could have spent that money on to pay off a bill. I could have done this. I could have done that. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And that's how people are. They're going to get this extra money. They get reparations. Oh, the government going to give me, like I said, the COVID loan. Now I get an extra $1,000. Should I invest this or should I go buy those Jordans I've been looking at?
Telling you, man, J's is about to go skyrocket. Don't get these Negroes that type of money.
So it's like we look
at the hood. We all know we live in the hood.
You're gonna have
with all this PPP stuff. No,
you're gonna have those few talented 10 that are gonna know what to do with that money, how to transfer that money, and how to change that money and make that money grow. But the rest of these Negroes, I'm going to the Louis store. I'm going to the Gucci store. I'm going to go buy that Remy. I'm going to go buy that, that Louis the 15th in the specialized bottle that I can put on my God damn it. I'm gonna put it on my dresser so that everybody can see it, that I got it in my background. We don't know what to do with it.
I think at least 40% might, do right by it, I think. Well, what you guys think? What you guys think about a percentage might do right by the money? I think there's going to be a large amount of black folks, because even with the PPP loans and stuff, I feel like there was still a large amount of black, but I mean, not a ton, because a lot of them were scammers, but there's quite a few that I know that came up and legitimately run businesses and are highly successful due to the whole situation that went down. It was just like, it's a startup. You take an opportunity, you make the best of it. So I feel like there's going to be a large amount of people that will take advantage of the opportunity when presented. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't want to punish all black folks just because majority's going to take it and spend it. Hey, they're going to support the economy back. Ooh, government got it back now. Cool. You got your money back. But, for the ones that's going to take advantage and build off that start that generational wealth, then that truly does build the black community. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, but I think it's a small percentage. Go ahead, Banger.
My whole thing is this. Fine, we get reparations. Will the hoods look the same? Will the lower income places look the same? Can they drop up? Everybody get money and don't get nothing to the neighborhood. Neighborhood like shit. It's not fair. The kids, what do they have to do? That's what's the need. We can't solve it being selfish with the money. It better be something for these kids to do.
I didn't say anything about being selfish with the paper. I'm just saying, hopefully when we, whatever that amount may be, that the majority of us, depending on how they would divvy that out to us, you know what I mean? I feel like the majority of us would do right by it for the most part. Yes, we would like to do some things for ourselves and treat ourselves and all of that good shit. But I really would like to hope and think that the majority of us would do right by it and start some things to where we don't have these problems as, you know, okay, well, we don't have any resources. Okay, well, what's the excuse now? You got some money to have the resources. You know what I mean? A group of us, you know, I really feel like however many of it is right here, you know what I mean? Like, okay, listen, y'all, we all got $100,000. What can we do just from where we're from? You know, if this is a conversation we would have, what can we do to make the situations in our neighborhood somewhat better? Can we buy land? Can we do whatever it is that we're going to do to just, you know, say to make the hood that, you know, some of y'all come from?
Nobody would agree. They would be
so?
Who's in charge? It's going to be named after me and my kids. Who in charge? I'm running shit. You see what I'm saying?
That's where the selfishness comes in. Now I think that so the thing is though, when you get to a certain level, you definitely have to, you know, lawyers and stuff has to be in place. Everything has to be in contract. Everything has to be written. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going and doing this. That's how, when you know, black people, that's why we're so ignorant today, because we don't get contracts. We don't know how to read contracts. You have to be able to have your team to have this written up correctly, because it's all about that contract. I learned that early on, starting my entrepreneurship and starting my own businesses. I mean, you know, it kind of almost got me. I'm like, oh shit, let me get this. Now I keep 2 lawyers on retainer for sure. Contracts, goddammit, I promise you that. So like, you know, you're not just about to. You can't be that selfish. You gotta know it as a collective unit. Like Marcus said, hey, listen, we can come together. We come with the idea, and then boom, we gonna come in. If you want to come with your individual lawyers, cool. If you want to get a team lawyer, you know what I'm saying, you know, cool. But you know, you want to at least have your still individual lawyer to take your shit back too, to make sure shit's even, shit's across the field. You know what I'm saying?
I love this utopia
optimism. You like optimism.
I'm just saying,
where black folks wake up and they financially responsible and literate and they know all this shit. I love this world, but we got
because think about it. It happens. Think about all the elites right now. Like, you know, we talked about, you know, the young rappers and how they move. Think about when Tupac and Jay-Z and even so-called Drake, these dudes was young. Lil Wayne, they was actually someone wilding too. Tupac was starting to, you know what I'm saying, switch it up before he got killed. Jay-Z was moving somewhat, but you know, he don't move that way. You know what I'm saying? He learned, I gotta grow. Boom, boom. He cool now. So it's like,
no, that's not.
Work it together. When you get like, okay, me and you, Big Nasty, me and you work together. We play football together. Our egos have clashed as kids, so we know. So you get 2 men, and they like Gav said, you know, my name got to be included. We got to be able to take that selfishness out, and it has not gone the way of society. Kevin Hart touched on it on one of his things. He said, you know, one of the biggest problems is men can't get past their egos and work together. He talked about how he worked with The Rock. He said, I worked with The Rock. He say, and he got a good idea. I said, yes, let's do it that way. That's fine. As long as it works, put the ego to the side. Don't worry about who gets the credit. As long as them ends is coming in, it don't matter. But that's a hard obstacle to get past for a lot of people. Who gonna get the credit? I've seen a recent Facebook post. Someone said, you know, I'm not gonna do this because someone else might get the credit. I'm sorry, but that's sick.
I mean, in that case, that's just you know, that's selfish. And I feel like, you know, people don't look at the big picture, man. It's just the big picture.
Like I told you the other day, Donnell, I hear what you're saying. I just don't like when people give analogies like, oh, you know, something fucking the rappers did 30, 40 years ago, and that justifies the behavior today. Because like I told you, football players used to wear leather helmets. You understand? With no face mask. We got to understand. Shit changed. So here we are. So my quick devil's advocate real quick. Can you imagine for a moment? Here we are. I'm going to bring the ancestors into the room. We're talking about reparations. Can you imagine being an ancestor? You up in heaven right now. They give these mugs reparations. First thing you see is these niggas running to the Gucci store with reparation money. That's blasphemy. The ancestors is looking down. The first thing you do you know what the pain and suffering they went through, and you reaping the rewards. First thing y'all gonna want to do Gucci, Louis, Prada, Cancun, Punta Cana, fucking whatever. Y'all motherfuckers be talking about going to Qatar and shit. I said, y'all motherfuckers losing your goddamn mind. Qatar. Y'all just found out what the fuck that is. That's one of the richest places on earth. Y'all just say, I want to go to Saudi Arabia. I want to do this. Listen here. We got to stop this shit. We got to stop this shit. Holy fuck.
Well, that just happened, though. When this administration was talking about, forgiving student loans. Everybody was thinking, well, hell, what about me? 20 years ago when I went to school, I had to pay everything. I still got some people now still paying everything when they went to school. And it's like, are you just going to let, this generation, these people now just debt forgiveness with that? Or, you're going to give them money because they went to school? Because, just $10,000, well, hell, $10,000 almost paid for my whole, I won't say my whole education, but, back then it was a whole lot cheaper, but still, it paid a great chunk. Am I going to say, well, what about me? What about when I went to school? I had to pay. These people can't pay like I did.
Listen, I think Willie hit on something. I think we in the middle of reparations, everything from PPP to the refund checks they were giving out. What was they? Whatever they was called, the stimulants. Between this PPP stimulants and loan forgiveness, this is reparations. It just ain't gonna be for everybody, as you can see.
There you go. I believe. I really don't ever believe that the U.S. government can afford to cut a respectable check to the descendants of slaves. My father-in-law said it best. He said, well, regardless of what that number is going to be insulting to say this is the number.
Like $4 trillion. And
you see, and like I said, the U.S. government cannot afford to do that. It will, anyone that's familiar with economics, that will topple the economy because it just won't work. It simply won't work. So we can't be saying asking for trillions. It could never happen. There will be a shift in power and authority. It won't work. They're never going to do it. So I do believe that these PPP loans, stimulus, and loan forgiveness is some type of covert, under the table reparations.
I think the government can afford it financially. For sure.
They definitely ain't cutting no checks.
I'm gonna say
I feel like they can afford it financially though. Maybe like everything else that you're saying as far as shifting of power, do they want to, relinquish that? Of course not. But as far as actually getting them dollars out to us for whatever that amount may be, they can definitely afford that. If you can afford to send X amount, billions of dollars to Ukraine, you can send all of this money on these stimulus checks and all of that we got over the last couple of years. Yeah, you can come up with the paper if you really want to give us reparations. Oh, you can do it, goddammit.
Okay.
So that all of that excuse when they talk about and I feel like that's a slap in the face when they tell us we can't do these things for a specific group of people, and then they turn around and do all of this extra shit for a specific group of fucking people. You know what I'm saying? And then these motherfuckers come over here and still don't pay taxes. You feel me? They getting all of this free shit, but y'all telling us what you can't do for us. But then it goes back to the whole voting thing. I know y'all touched on that briefly, but when the motherfuckers going to blatantly get on TV and tell me you're not going to do shit for us, you know what I'm saying? But then you do shit for other people, but then you still want me to vote for you. I don't know. But that's my rant.
I think the thing with reparations is that the reason why we probably will never get it is because they can't determine who should get it. Because yes, we're black. Yeah, we're black. But then it's like you got people that are mixed race that don't claim black, but yet let something like this happen, and black people, they say, oh, okay, we know what we're going to give black people reparations. Do you know how many people are going to start claiming that they black? Rachel Dolezal will probably be the first one in line talking about.
There will be something in process to figure this out, but just like they did back in the day with the Indians, they had the white folks was the $5 Indians when they would pay $5 to say I'm Indian and get certain reparations, like the Indians did. I'm sorry, the Native Americans. Whether that was land, casinos, money, whatever the case it is. Of course, you're going to have people trying to do that. But I feel like when they do reparations and they have everything set in place, there will be a process of figuring out if you are descendants of slavery. You know what I mean? You're not from, you know, wherever the case is. You're not from London. You know what I mean? Coming over here and you're going to get the benefits. But which happens a lot of times. You know, these people of the diaspora come over here and they reap all of the benefits
It's over.
that Black Americans have. You know, our ancestors struggled and fought for and all of that, and they come over here, get the benefits and then shit on us. You know what I'm saying? So I hope there will be something put in place to where they can figure out who's what and to give the money up accordingly.
No, because we don't like Kevin hit on. We don't. The reason it won't happen because we're not identifying with any native land, any other land. We keep calling ourselves Black and African American. As long as we keep doing that, they won't give it because they don't have to. But if we call ourselves motherfucking whatever, you find exactly where you came from and identifies that, then you're gonna have some traction. But as long as we keep saying we Black and this and that, Black is not a fucking a race of. It's not a country. It's not anything.
Well, that's why I say a lot of people say we're from here. We're from the Americas. A lot of people, you know, we were, you know, if you believe that notion that we were here before, you know, the actual slave trade started. But you know, a guy that I follow, he coins it as FBA, as foundational Black Americans. You know, and if you can trace your roots back to, you know, foundational Black Americans who were slaves here, then you know that's how you would go about it.
No, I agree with you, but the key word you said, dear, is you said they gotta want to do it, and they have no want.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But even with that, majority of us as a people don't even know our own lineage.
But we can figure that out, though. I think you can do things to find that out.
You can figure that out, but I mean, again, you know, you got, and this is not to down anything, but you got, you know, kids out here that don't even know their father. You know, I just had a conversation with my 7-year-old daughter. We were driving along, and she was just like, she asked me what my father died of, and I told her and everything, and so then she was like, "Well, did you know his grandfather?" And I'm like, "No, not. I really think about it. I didn't know his grandfather. I don't know his name. I don't know nothing. So I don't have a family. I myself personally don't have a family lineage that I can think of and go back to and talk to. Just like how I was thinking, like, okay, well, you know, her grandmother, of course, my mom and everything, and we were talking about something else, and she was like, well, what about grandma's grandma? And I'm like, I don't even know that. I don't think anybody in my family has ever done anything. You know, I'm sure that there's records somewhere that's in some, you know, dark room on paper or whatever to say, oh, your grandmother's name is so-and-so. But again, that takes time and investment. And we know that's two things the government ain't just going to do for free.
Mm-hmm. Or they can just go by what's on your birth certificate. It say Black, okay, you Black, you get reparations. If it say anything other than Black, you don't get reparations. So if it say Dominican, Puerto Rican, I don't want to use that, but whatever we use for mixed, you know, people of, you know, Black and white or whatever the case is, if it don't say Black, I don't know if that's a proper term that we can use. That's why I didn't
it's on
say.
paper.
You know,
yeah,
Kev,
no, but you know,
Kev, I find I like what you said about you said, you know, talking about how, you know, you never thought about, you know, you never heard about your great grandmother or maybe even your grandmother, you know.
No, I know my mother, but okay. So the thing that I was thinking about was like, you know, we talking about, you know, kids growing up and generations and everything. I remember when I was a kid and driving through, you know, one of the old neighborhoods, my mom pointed out to me, she goes, there's the location of the house of where we grew up as kids. No longer there. Only thing that was there was like a tree, just an entry lot in a tree. And it's just like, I thought to myself, I'm like, will I ever get the opportunity to go back to my hometown with my daughter and drive around and be like, all right, you see that plot? That's where my mom and her mother and her brothers and sisters, most of her brothers and sisters grew up. You know, are we really doing this? Are we passing this down? Are we passing these things down so that, you know, upon generation, know, you know, the next generations know what the generations before them, who they were and what they did. And so I know that there are some out there that do that and everything, but for the majority of us, can we sit there and actually think about stuff like that? Are we only going off of what we can remember instead of going off of, here's this actual family tree that, that we have, that we can trace our lineage and everything back to, as Several P said, all the way back to 1831.
You know what? I think a big part of the disconnect, is spawns from a lot of our, family and ancestors migrating from the south up here to the north. Whenever the steel mills were booming, a lot of our fans moved up to the north for a different way of life. Their grandmas had been sharecroppers or whatever. Their great grandmas had been slaves. Me and Gavin was just talking to a gentleman in our community a month or so ago, and the gentleman we were talking to, his grandmother was a slave. He's an older gentleman in the community, so we're not that far removed from slavery. So I say that to say, a lot of times I feel like that our roots were lost in that migration from the south up here to the north for a more industrial, less agricultural lifestyle, because our people was tired of planting stuff, rightfully so, and tending to the land. But a lot of our rich heritage and grounding and passing down those ancestral trees, the lineage, that was lost. What they say, sitting on grandma's knee and hearing of these old stories, that time has long been gone, because great grandma was left down south. That's my belief. And now a lot of people up north, we don't know. We have no idea. Me myself, I definitely got into finding out about my family tree and my lineage to find out most of my people come from Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm fucking 10% Irish and European. You know what I mean? Like it's so, the waters are so muddy when it comes to trying to find out who we are. I really believe trying to get reparations outside of saying, hey, you got to stick to a birth certificate is going to be tough, because I do believe if they don't make that stipulation, everybody going to start claiming to be black. And if you take any DNA test, it actually says on there that it says there's a disclaimer on any DNA test. It says, keep in mind that every person on earth can be traced back to a single woman in Africa. It says that.
But it comes, did your ancestors go through slavery of America? Did your people help build this nation? If no, over all of them years from 16 whatever to 1865, you know what I'm saying? If no, then shit, you don't get shit. I don't know, you know what I mean? But I feel like they're if this is something that they say is really gaining traction, I feel like they'll have it all ironed out as far as how to give this money up.
Okay.
If it happens.
I think they got to stay within that 400-year radius connection. If you go, if we, because you can't avoid it. After you go about that fourth generation, you know who was slave, you know who was who.
And by that time, I feel like that's what I'm saying. We are American. Like this is our land. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't ask to be. If you feel like we were brought here, if you feel like we were already here, fuck, after 200, 300 years, it's like, yo, this is our shit. We can't, because I believe if that's true, we're the only people who cannot be deported anywhere as black Americans. If you want to label ourselves black Americans, where the fuck they gonna send us to?
Guantanamo.
That's
Look, Willie talking about he 10% Irish. You don't want to know how that 10% Irish got in your blood.
I know exactly how it got. I know.
All right, but that's part of the stipulations. Part of the stipulations of reparations, you gonna know vivid details about your bloodline.
That's fine. Let me know all the horrors. That's fine.
I checked my ancestry, yo, and on my grandma's side, I'm looking at the genealogy. Okay, boom. Great grandma, black. Great grandma. There goes some mixing. And then I passed that. I said, hold on. I got some white cousins I need to talk to. that slave master got a little bit rock solid and took advantage of something.
I don't know, Banger. You black and black. I don't know if your white family. I don't think they fuck with you, Banger.
No, man. This in there,
Hey.
man.
They gonna deny all. Banger, they gonna deny all connections. I guarantee they gonna say, Banger, you gonna pull up. They gonna say, no way, fuck, we got any type of blood. Trust me.
German, bro. German Banger. The black German Banger. That's what you call me, man.
That's now.
I need a Benz now.
Okay. Well, listen, man. Listen, like we were saying, I'm gonna get out of here on this last note. R.I.P. Offense. I'm gonna share my screen one last time here, and we get out of here on this brother tonight. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. It's a tragedy. And I'll bring Boozy out front. So now Boozy gonna give his take. And I think right now, you know, I'll let him give his take.
There you go. That music syndicate want to show QC, all the family. Sending some prayers and love for y'all niggas. All Takeoff family, Quavo, Offset, all y'all. That music syndicate want, you know, send their prayers out. You know, this rap shit whack, bro. I ain't lying, bro. We targets now, bro. We used to be heroes, you know. This rap shit whack as fuck. This rap shit whack, bro. Everybody want us out of here, bro. R.I.P. Takeoff, bro.
Here we are. How are we in the world? R.I.P. Takeoff. How are we in the world where a brother like fucking Lil Boozy is running in the damn Victim Olympics? As if, like, come on, man. Hold on, man. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Takeoff. You motherfucking Little Boozy. You are almost single-handedly responsible for some of the most debaucherous shit that goes on in the fucking community. You got no business up here fucking crying in the Victim Olympics. This shit go all hand in hand. Motherfuckers like you is the reason why the culture's so fucked up. You can't then pull out your fucking camera and start running the Victim Olympics. You are who the fuck you are. You fucking Little Boozy. We ain't gonna get into great detail because I know we're gonna do a show on your ass one day. Because I know some great details about some egregious shit you have done. You got no fucking business speaking on the black community at all. And when I come on here and I talk about the separation of black people, it ain't got nothing to do with wealth. Most of it do. But even rich motherfuckers like Lil Boozy will be exiled. He is not valuable to us. He's a destructive motherfucker. I'm tired of motherfuckers like that. Every time some shit happen, you get a motherfucker like Lil Boozy want to bring his ass up here crying and shit. That's when shit's out of pocket. Because you contributed to the culture that led to this brother's death. Period. You can't come on here and try to wash the blood off your fucking hands, you son of a bitch. I'm over it. It's my rant.
I just want to know what J. Rule's thoughts on this is. Ja Rule. Sorry, damn it. If I can take it back. Ja Rule's thoughts on this. Y'all don't. Nobody.
What did
You know what?
did Ja Rule say something? Did he comment on this?
I think he did online. Did a video or anything.
Okay, I'll look it up here real quick. But what's y'all take though? What's y'all take on Boozy? We talking about this is real Boozy now. Come on, man.
Boosie badass. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about Boosie badass up here in the Victim Olympics talking about, oh, the rap game is whack. Like Gavin said, you know, it's been exposed as of lately via Charleston White that Boosie been out here being just a devil and ain't nothing glorious or honorable about it. Like I said, such egregious acts, you know, I dare not repeat. Don't know if it's true, but it's been aired. But yeah, you can't be on here a part of the problem. Having, like I said, you got riches, you got influence, and you've been using your influence and riches to to delete the youth. And in a sense, you can't. No, man, you can't come up here acting all innocent. Come on, you Boosie bad ass. Come on, man. You need to just shut that down. And now you up here playing victim Olympics because a dark light has been shined on him as of recently. And now everybody want to say, "Oh, they out to get us." As a man, you gotta own up. You live by that sword, you're gonna die by it. Real shit. You gotta own up to your shit. Yeah, Boosie out of pocket. Seriously.
It might be time to shift away from gangster rap. Then I've been listening to rap for 30 plus years, so it might be that time where we got to move on from that. Unless some brothers talking some positive stuff.
There you go.
In the community, you might got to just move on, and especially these newer cats. And I ain't knocking them; they getting their money, but a lot of this stuff now is just sick.
Yeah, I tell you what, me myself, we got to acknowledge the power that music has, and those beats, as Kanye going about that 808 beat, and how those tones, man, they get you in a certain mind space. Me myself, still to this day, my favorite rapper was DMX. I'm trying to tell you something from experience. I'm back is dark and hell is hot, blood in my flesh, blood in my blood, flesh in my flesh. That's what I used to listen to, so I know where that music takes you. And this drill music, I'm 30, I'm 36. Like I said, I like to think I'm tough. I hear that drill music, I get nervous. That is some demonic music, and it has a huge effect on our culture. Like, guys like Boosie and them, hey, come on, man, y'all. That's all they was about. You can't feed that beast, dance with the devil, and then want to be in this, and then play victim and talking about people out to get you. They should be out to get you.
Talking about we used to be superheroes. When's the last time you got to stop this shit? Words mean things, man. Words mean things. Don't bring your ass over here on the running the victim Olympics talking about we used to be superheroes. To who?
Man.
To the people in the hood.
To niggas.
But is the difference now, like, when we listen to like rappers of our time or younger, they talked about the lifestyle. But I feel like now these rappers now are living that lifestyle. That's all that's what they're doing now, is living the lifestyle as well as rapping about it. Because like I feel like if I do take the time to listen to some of this newer stuff, all I really hear is, yo, in the studio, did some type of drug, went to go see some girl that tricked her, and maybe shooting something up. Am I missing something?
Yeah, it wasn't cool to be a junkie when we was coming up.
Right, and we can't get a female to pass either, because they polluting a lot of stuff out there too. Just throwing out there, getting over on niggas, and getting in his pocket. So it got to go both ways, though.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Got to go both ways. Then we gonna take the heat as men, as far as rappers. But I mean, it's just getting to the point now. This rap is just we got to shift. We got to shift away from it, then.
And a lot of times, I like to put the bullseye square back on the women, because bottom line, right? We're going to end this one some real life solutions tonight. And the first one is, let's start with the women. Stop sleeping with these motherfuckers. I guarantee you, if y'all stop sleeping with men, walk around sagging their pants, acting in this behavior, they would change. They would go get a job or some shit. But why would I? When I can get some of the best box in town. I don't have to. So y'all, the women and their behavior and what they accept can sort of force the men to level up. And it's just that simple. So we can start there.
Here's a solution. Listen to some smooth jazz or something. That's what I do. I listen to some instrumentals. Listen to some Eric Roberson. Seriously, these kids stop listening. I agree. I mean, I wholeheartedly. I mean, I listen to anything for real. I like soothing music, because that music, we're gonna make a whole bit. That music, it's that tempo. It takes you to a place. That's why you listen to that. Anybody that play football, you listen to some gangs. You listen to Boosie before you play football, so you're gonna be violent. That's what it is. You ain't sitting there listening to Maxwell, before you go, play a football game. No, you listen to some violent music. So
hold on, Willie, she hit on something here. I guess she said if the women stop sleeping with Nug Nug, then Nug Nug gonna start sleeping with each other.
And they already
what you say that, Willie?
Let Nug Nug go ahead and
I don't know. Do that help the community? Hold on. Nug
Nug don't need to be right. If Nug Nug want to go ahead and sodomize the other Nug Nug, then that's fine. But keep away from the children. Keep out. I say the kids. Seriously, stop making babies with Nug Nug. Okay. If Nug Nug.
Hey, Willie, got one more for you. The meditation music is good too to clear your mind. Man,
there you go. All that type. All that. Okay. Yeah, I'm on all that. Yeah, see, I'm like I said, I listen to my jazz and my music all the time. I don't deal with that music too much. But as far as Nug Nug, yeah, let Nug Nugs can have each other. They can go have a Nug Nug orgy. Who gives a damn?
I think our generation got kind of lucky too. You know what I mean? With the parents that we had of our age, you know what I mean? We got a good dose of some 70s, 80s, and then by the time the 90s roll around, you know what I mean? That's our thing. But our foundation is probably Motown, I would say, probably for the most of us, maybe a little earlier. But now these kids, and even with my kids, I try to make them well-rounded in music. You know what I'm saying? Like I play the stuff that my parents listened to that I kind of grew up with, as a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying? So I understand how my parents felt about the rap that we was listening to. Like my parents would always say, listen, if I could hear it outside your door, it's too loud. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't want to hear all of that kind of stuff. And now I feel like it's bad, but it's just, I don't, the whole WAP thing, like, like hearing those words put together, I'm like, yo, if I'm in the car with my kids, I'm turning that shit off. Anything that's just way, too much cussing, overly, crazy, I'm just turning that shit the fuck off. Yeah. I don't even want to hear that.
Okay, so this guy here says gun violence in general is just completely out of control. This made national headlines because he is a rapper. But how many brothers have lost their lives, due to nonsense like this? And there was just a child in Chicago got, hit with a straight bullet the other day. People ain't talking about young baby died. And here's what I say. Yeah, so here's what I say to all this. My message to black folks tonight. Start snitching. Right? If you see motherfuckers doing wrong in the community, anything above jaywalking, I guess we'll let them slide on that. Anything above jaywalking, we got to start calling the cops, right? Motherfuckers sit out too much garbage out at the sidewalk. Call police. Motherfucker got a bunch of stray cats and dogs running around. See what I'm saying? It could be minimum. Yeah. We can't even state the obvious, like motherfuckers selling dope and really doing the egregious shit. That's the obvious. We must. This is all across the country, black folk. Mm-hmm. We must start calling police, get these motherfuckers locked up. And that's also part of the separation. If they don't want to do better, if you want to do better, start now. There you go. It's November 1st. PSA. Starting November 2nd, start calling the police on these niggas. They get one bye for the night. Get all your shit out your system. Go ahead and start pissing on outside and shit. Do all that shit y'all like to do.
They'll start a purge, motherfucker.
Yeah, start purging. Motherfucker walk around smoking crack. All that. Get it out your system. November 2nd, election day. Start calling the cops on these niggas. Shit.
Seriously. I tell people straight up, if you try to get in my car, if I give you a ride, you drop something or something like that, I'm telling. I'm not going to jail for nobody. I ain't no gang member. I ain't no thug. I got kids and shit. I'm telling. I will be telling on you. I tell before your mama. I tell everybody. What you telling.
And I come from the streets, so people may watch this and be like, that motherfucker a hypocrite. No. I'm over a decade removed from any of that type of debauchery. I'm expunged from that bullshit. I do not support that shit. So if a motherfucker like me is saying this shit, I would imagine this would ring some bells, motherfuckers that truly know me. If I'm telling y'all to call the cops, nigga like me, I think it's the right thing to start doing, because shit.
Look, So, Gav, if you don't mind me asking, and to keep it brief, where was your turning point where you was like, you know what, this is some bullshit, bro? Like, I don't have this to do anymore.
I started losing a lot of friends in the streets. I tell you what, I was, still living with my mom. I was sitting up in the attic one day, and I was on my laptop. I remember this day vividly. And I was fucking around. I ain't have much. I had shit going on. Wasn't working, nothing. Just in the street, young, probably about 24 or so. And I'm on Facebook, and this ad come across my fucking Facebook about a technical school, right? And I click on this shit just out of fucking curiosity. And say, put your number here. Blah, blah, blah. I put my phone number there. I swear to God, these motherfuckers called me within 5 minutes. Hey, we see you just on the website. Oh, fuck. I said, y'all motherfuckers put me on the spot. They say, yeah, we're trying to get scheduled to come to the school. By that Monday or whatever, I was up at the school taking a tour. Within 2 weeks, I was enrolled, and fucking the rest is history. I got involved. I went to school for automotive technology. Graduated with associate's degree in automotive. I got hired by General Motors. I was a certified technician for about 7 years at General Motors. Had a full career going there. I could have worked there until I was 65 years old, and just was not doing it for me. So, as me and Willie, as we do, we start linking up. And this was about 2019. And I left my job before the pandemic. I was a motherfucker who walked out of my job before the shit was cool. Motherfuckers called me crazy like Kanye West. That's why I relate to him on so many levels. People don't understand, because I'm working full-fledged. Motherfuckers like, they think shit's more than it is, right? I'm just a motherfucker. I'm a damn grease mechanic. But they put all this fancy shit. I went to school. You're a technician now. Sound good, but it was what it was, right? And yeah, so I led to this, and man, Willie got the company going, Today's Home Services. Like I said, I walked out of my job, and we've been entrepreneurs ever since, man. Now we are full-fledged property contractors here. We manage, about 200 properties. Our business is extremely successful, and we've been branching that off. Like I said, we got our CMOS company here. What else we got going on? We got the clothing line. So we have a custom design print shop that we own, and obviously the podcast. This is our latest venture. So we just keep, what I mean? It's shit that we wouldn't have grown up. You told me growing up I'd be doing any of the shit that I do, I would say it's a lie. But we just keep doing different shit, because I just showed you some of our businesses, and none of it sort of, it's like, man, y'all, selling CMOS and podcasting and working on houses, and it's a lot of different shit.
I think the moral of the story, you really can't give up. And I feel like a lot of these young men, damn near still kids, they just give up. They don't surround themselves with the right people, because growing up in the hood, a lot of shit got to go in your favor for you be able to tell a story like Gavin just told. It ain't by chance. A lot of stuff got to start going right. You can't be around knuckleheads all the time, because the story don't go that way. You can't relish in the street life, even though you may have to indulge in it just to get by, because the story don't go this way. You got to have some morals about you. It's got to be something inside you. You can't give up on yourself.
It's got to start with making better choices. That's the one thing that what people don't do. You got to hold yourself accountable. But the two things to life is really about your choices that you make and your reaction in life. You know what I mean? So, Gav, you made the choice to go step by step. You made a step to go up to that institution school and then enroll yourself. You made that choice. You could have easily been like, man, fuck this. Somebody go roll up and, I ain't going nowhere. It's Tuesday now. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? And they continue to make choices.
Not to cut you off, Darnell, but just to touch on that in that moment, I remember signing up for school, and I had some good friends of mine, and I was trying to get them to do the same. I'm like, look, we gonna all go to school together. We gonna carpool. I was driving, obviously, so motherfucker, y'all, we can all do this shit. And I look at some of these brothers today, and they still out in the streets and shit, and I'm like, man, I think about the moments where y'all motherfuckers is like, they almost halfway laughing, like, what the fuck is you doing? And I just,
I mean, I got family members, man, in the same spot they was in, 15 years ago, just by the choices that they make. You choose whether you want to, live a poor life or another life. People sit around waiting for their plate to get stacked. Well, you got to make your own plate. In real life, You got to make your own plate. Ain't no chick out there making your plate for you. You got to go cook the food. You got to prep the food, and you got to stack your own plate. You know what I mean? And most people, when it comes down to doing real work, they run from that. It's too hard. They don't want to look at a challenge. They don't want to challenge themselves and make the best of themselves. They want to go and do the easy route. You know what I mean? And make a terrible choice in this here. It's not doing anything for you to make the right choice. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to harder to do the work when you make the right choice. You gotta go through with it.
But it does help to have a good lady on your team, though.
100%.
Hey, you beat me to it. I will say. And that's another reason why I'm condemning this culture. There's no trust. It's a very mercenary type dating culture out there. Everyone's out for self. Y'all can't even trust the person y'all laying with and being intimate with. How y'all gonna trust y'all friends that have any type of positive criticism coming your way? Y'all can't even trust the people y'all laying with. I will say it every time I get a chance. I'm the man I am today because of my wife, and I mean that, and I definitely want to points for saying it. But big time, man. These people can't. Today's culture can't even trust the person they are laying naked with.
Okay, Willie, she hit on something here. So she said, you guys need to start hiring some of these young men. I tell you what, that's a funny story because we actually did try. And two things is true, right? We got to find, because I agree with her wholeheartedly. We would love to hire some young men. These young men don't want to fucking work. So it's like fucking find a needle in a haystack. You know what I mean? So, you know
what? Gavin and I have had our hearts broken trying to hire young men in the community, relatives, and like Gavin said, but at the same time, not giving up on them. But we labor, we do work. We out there in the field with hammers and drills, and that's just not what this culture's into. And that's a whole nother story. But we definitely we still trying to seek other stuff to get the young men involved, maybe something like this. But you daggone right, we do have to start empowering them and hiring them wherever we can. But what me and Gavin are into as far as taking care of homes and remodeling stuff like that, these kids ain't into that. You bleed and you get blisters with what we do. So, and we trying to find something that appeals to them instead of trying to force them into it. Because I tried to force them and it don't work. Try to overpay. Trust me, it don't work. But you got to find something they're into. But I agree, Miss Charlotte.
Yeah, she hit on a good point. That's definitely true. But like you said, with these different businesses that we do have, it gives us opportunity, like you hit on, to think outside the box and try to get these young boys involved with the t-shirt and the things. I know a lot of these guys are into fashion and stuff, and we would love to get some of these young men involved with the print shop, and even like you said, teaching these young men about how to get on YouTube, start podcasting, and whatever they might want to do. We're at the point now where we can teach them different things besides, before we, like you said, working on houses, working on cars, and that was like where we hung our hats at. A lot of these men don't want to do that type of shit, but that's our bread and butter. But we're starting to learn different skills and gathering more knowledge so that we can transfer this knowledge in different ways, because we have a lot of old school skills that we still hang our hat on, and it just don't translate to these young men. Same thing with you, Banger. We can get into this with Banger here, and Banger has this company, LZX Landscaping, and what he's doing, I'm sure he can tell y'all the same thing, is you try to bring on some young men, but they probably don't want to work.
To be real, you know what I'm saying? I play a lot of work inside the Plant 12 area, and that's where most of my young guys are at. And they have came to me after seeing me so many times. Yo, Zay Bang, can I get a job? Try to make some money. And I'm like, you serious? Handle my card. Call me. I'll send you out when it's time to work. Granted, I say a good, honest. For me being an entrepreneur for 6 months, I've had a 14-year-old kid put the most work in, and I'm like, he was hungry though. The other guys, yeah, they wanted some money, and I do have an employee, now that's putting in work. You know what I'm saying? One of my boys,
brothers. But you know, this it's hard getting them young guys. It's difficult. It's not that they just don't want to work. They don't want to work hard. You got to work hard from the ground sometimes. They're not built like that. They want the money, yeah. We all do. It's easier to sell something than it is to go up and, yeah, I could probably get $100 out of somebody easily, but for me, it's physical work is nothing. That's why I do it. Been doing this most of my life, washing cars and cutting grass. They not built like that. So it's hard for us to grab a masses of young teens because we decided to do something positive. I could just be working more. I'd rather be in the community doing something constructive.
And that
you know, this is a fact that we and the problem that we run into. We doing positive stuff. Just about everybody, you know, there's people on this panel with quote unquote business, and it's hard to get people that don't want it. I get it.
Well, I tell you what, you hit on something that Kevin kind of said a little earlier in the show, and he was saying like the stuff we do and we getting dirty, but these kids wants the diamonds and the gold and be shiny. You know what I mean? You can't be out here doing what we doing. You actually can. That's the sad part. I was gonna say you can't be out here doing this and TikToking and trying to make it look glamorous, but you actually can. You could be out here working and still doing all that and tie it all in. But they want to be on there dancing with diamonds and jewels, and they see the guys, they see the Migos of the world, right? And these guys make it all look so easy. They ain't out here swinging hammers. They just walk around with diamonds. Why do I got to work so damn hard, right? But you don't even know. Them brothers work just as fucking hard doing whatever they doing. That's what I'm saying. So we always trying to shun one another. We don't have people on this platform alone even told me and Willie, you know what I mean? You know, some of the shit we do, fucking basically a fucking caveman could do it, which was insulting, but that's how that brother felt. So, you know what I mean? That's another story for another day. But we got to quit downplaying each other's greatness and give each other our flowers and quit acting like, you know what I mean? Because if somebody from another culture do some shit, we quick to toot the fucking horn. But when one another do things and accomplish things, not so great. You know what I mean? So Kevin, was you coming in?
I was going to share a little quick story. I had something simple that I did a few weeks ago. And, you know, and this goes back to, you know, trying to teach kids just life lessons. And so, you know, I have 3 trees on my property that they go at separate times as far as dropping their leaves. And so the third one was finally starting to drop its leaves. It covered my yard with leaves and everything. And my daughter and I were getting ready to go out there to like start raking the leaves and everything. So neighbors' grandkids, you know, 6 and 9 years old, were outside playing, and my daughter sees them and she's like, you know, Daddy, can I go over there and play with them? I was like, sure. You know, that way I can focus on what I'm doing, trying to get the leaves up. So they're over there playing, and they got, I guess, one of their cousins or family friends over there, and he's got his young son over there that's probably, you know, maybe 9 or 10 as well. And so they're kind of all playing, and then all of a sudden they migrated over and they came back over to my yard and everything, and they see me raking the leaves and they want to play in the leaves. You know, so they're playing and everything, and they're grabbing them up in bundles and put them in a pile and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, grab that set over there and bring them over here and put them in this pile. So they're all like, okay, let's put them in a pile. Let's put them in a pile. And they start pulling them in a pile and everything. And they're actually helping me out, you know, because again, normally I would be out there by myself doing this whole yard, you know, full of leaves and everything. So they do this about 2 or 3 times, put them in a pile. I put them in a tarp, drag them off to the woods behind my house, come back, they do it again. So after we finished, you know, everything, you know, they got to go in for dinner and everything. And I take my daughter in, and I go in, and I had some, you know, some pocket change or whatever, some money. And I did like a handwritten note to the 2 girls because they were part of the same family, and one to the boy. And I thanked them for helping me. And for each of them, I think I gave each of them like $10. And so my daughter, so I walked back across the street and I knocked on the door. and the family was there. You know, the family was there eating, and I gave the father of the two girls the card, and I called the little boy over and I gave him the card, and I had all of their names on the front of them, and I gave it to him. And, you know, and they're all like, you know, the parents are like, oh, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. I'm like, no. I said, these kids, even though they were playing, they actually helped me. And I said, but I wanted them to understand that, you know, when you do things for people, you never know, one, how much they'll appreciate it, and to show your appreciation if somebody does something for you. And then also, if you work, you get paid. And so it was just kind of one of those small little things. And my daughter asked me, she's like, Daddy, why did you give them money? I was like, baby, they helped me. But she was like, but we were playing. I was like, you might have saw it as playing, but y'all were actually working and y'all helped me. I said, so I had to show them, you know, in a sense, since they helped me, I felt like I needed to reward them. And so I paid them. And I said, and then the whole thing about writing a note, she was like, well, why did you write them a note? I said, because I want them to understand when you do things, you know, you got to be, that it's okay to show your appreciation. It's okay to go back to the old ways of handwritten notes and to give somebody, to give them a, you know, a treat or a trinket, you know, because people will appreciate that. People will remember that, you know, just like how I remember you talking about, you know, kids these days don't want to work and get their hands dirty. I can remember being a young teenager washing the cars of my neighbors for $20. Them trusting me without even a license to drive the car from their driveway down to my driveway, I'm talking about full on detail for $20 at the time and whatnot, and responsibly bringing it back to them. And it's like, you don't really hear too many stories of that today. You don't hear too many stories of kids walking down the street with a lawnmower, knocking on doors, talking about, can I mow your lawn for this amount of money?
That's true.
You know what? And I have yet to hear anyone tells, you know, stories of their childhood like that, and them in a bad way. You know, like you could tell stories of your childhood, you know, where you hustle like that and you ain't doing too bad. And that says a lot about your character. And that's something to fucking be proud of, because a lot of people ain't got them stories. A lot of people ain't taking the initiative to go talk to their neighbors and take on that stress of driving their neighbor's car, you know, down the driveway. I can feel that. But as a young man, you took that on, and that's what led you to this point in your life. So definitely kudos to you, brother. That's what it's about. A lot of kids ain't got these stories. They ain't doing it. See, I've been out here shoveling my driveway, and I have been hoping for a young man to come and say, hey, can I shovel your driveway? I'll probably give him $100. Please, yes. But it just don't happen. And it is discouraging.
I mean, how many times as kids, when we were kids growing up, that we was out there shoveling snow, but we would also see 3, 4, 5 other young kids out there shoveling snow trying to beat you to the race. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you don't see one kid out there trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like a little kid came to me the other day, like, yo, you got some money? I'm like, I mean, yeah, I do. I said, but you know, you out here working? I mean, what you trying to do? You got a lawnmower? What you got? Like, what kind of sources you got? Like, you know, I'm not expecting a kid to have everything. You know, I'm gonna help you out, but at the same time, you know, I want to make sure that you out here working the proper way to go about funding. If you got time to go around asking people money, you got time to go push that lawnmower too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's about earning your money and not just giving you stuff. I ain't trying to give you nothing. I work hard for my money. I don't even gamble purposely because of the fact that I work too damn hard for my money. So yeah, it's invested properly in a sense. So, but the whole change of dynamic of the kids growing up from, you know, me as a kid, bro. I mean, I remember I had to damn near block on lock cutting grass, coming to shovel snow, getting leaves, shit, taking out the trash. You know what I'm talking about? A little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? I had to beat the fellas across the street to it. You know what I mean? Hey, my mommy's back. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I tell you what. I tell you what.
Hey, Big Nasty was out there snatching everything.
Hey, Banger, no.
Straight
Banger,
up.
no.
Yeah, that was my competition.
Exactly. Banger was definitely my competition. I'm like, damn. Banger out here hitting blocks. Hold up. Shit.
Look,
Hotel.
I'm
Can I use no
Pine Street, Griffith Street, because he want to lock down Wright Street.
Hey, up on Plan 6 now. I started cutting grass up there, right across from you, Donnell.
Mm-hmm.
And Maya Barbara, she taught me a lot. God bless her. She said, okay. She said, why don't you go cut some grass? But I said, all right. She said, go ahead, take the lawnmower. Go ahead, cut grass. I went out, cut grass, came back home with my little earnest. Okay. She said, you did good. She said, okay. And she said, do you own that lawnmower? I said, no. She said, you rented it off me. I said, okay. She said, give me my cut.
Give her cut. That's off the rip. You know you got to give a cut.
She
you got to get the gas back in there. You got to give your cut for using that lawnmower weed whacker. Yes, sir.
Hey,
the cut has got to come out.
Was a little different. I had to pay for depreciation, all that.
Right.
I tell you what, two things is true. There's not a lot of kids out here that are cutting grass and mowing lawns or snow or whatever. But I tell you what, two things is true. I get kids to come. The problem with Donnell and Willie is these motherfuckers live in the suburbs. They got like fucking, you know what I mean? You're supposed to have that already built in. Y'all supposed to have people. I get kids come knock on my door. I'm still in the hood all the time shoveling my yard. I ain't out the hood like them. They out, I'm still in the mud. I'm trying to get them to pull me out the mud, people. That's why, you know what I mean?
I might, since Willie said that, I might have to bring one of my employees that's a teenager to you. How about that?
Please do. Yes, it starts snowing. Bring his goofy ass right on over to shovel this driveway. He will be paid.
I definitely got a teenager.
Hey,
I swear
look,
on everything, brother.
Banger heard $100. I'm sending my employee over to you. I got you. He be over there.
And
young man, don't get this money.
Since he in high school, all proceed to go to him because he's a high school kid in 9th grade.
Easy hundo.
No, I tell you what, there was a hundo at that time. That time is come and gone, but he'll be paid respectfully.
and I'll drive him out there personally.
There you go.
If you're gonna do that.
But no, I'm serious. Yeah, real shit. Yeah, you got some young men want to come work. Yes, I got chickens and stuff need fed. Come on, send them over here. I'll work them. You gonna get that $100 if I do.
Now you talking about the chickens, Willie? You gonna need Harpo, man. You gonna need Harpo on the farm, then, man. You want them chickens done. LZX ain't playing with them chickens. We might cook them. We might move them chickens, but we ain't
Well, listen, man, I'm gonna get everybody, like I said, tonight, R.I.P. to this brother Takeoff, man. You know what I mean? 28 years old, killed senselessly, you know, didn't have to happen. Brother should live the full life with all his wealth and riches that he worked so hard for. And it's sad to see another brother gone well too soon. You know, I'll go around the panel here. We get everybody's final words before we get out of here. If y'all got any, you know, start with you, Willie. If you got anything, go around the panel.
Yeah, as we had touched on this before, this platform, we are solution-based. We are not here just to spin our wheels. We're here to move the needle. What can we learn from this tragedy? What can we take from this to not keep making these same mistakes? Learn from it. That is our gift to the brother Takeoff, to not keep making the same ignorant mistakes. I said the same thing about my cousin Willie that got killed. Let's learn from this crap and stop putting ourselves in these same situations where we find ourselves dead. Ain't no coming back from it. So that's what I got. Control the environment. You worth a damn to your community, to your family. Act as such. Act as if you're valuable and that you shouldn't just be out willy-nilly amongst the wolves. You can't afford it. It is irresponsible. Rest in peace.
Okay. Got anything, Donnell?
Yeah, just always thank you guys, man, just for the platform. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it's going to definitely reach a lot of people. But right now, still got a lot of people to where it just piques their interest and just want to be better. It really challenges people to want to be better as well. You know, some people don't know how to do it. So thank you guys for providing a platform that people can hear out on some real stuff, you know, the realness on what people go through, you know what I'm saying, the reality of things. And, you know, it's all about the change, you know what I mean, the message that we're putting out there. So similar, just in different ways to Equip the docuseries. The goal there is to basically, show different struggles, but also show the success stories of so many others who made it out of Alacopa besides just football. Football is not the only avenue. There's a lot of other avenues that you can make it out. And we're going to explain that through the docuseries. Our goal is to open up some type of trade school that can, we can teach kids videography, how to take photos and just, do what they want to do. If they want to be musicians, give them good energy that they can invest in themselves. So again, because of this platform, I feel like it's definitely going to touch a lot of people. Same thing with, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just going to put people in a space to just want to know better, want to do better, just being better. So.
Okay, got anything there, Kevin?
First, I just want to say appreciate y'all for having me on. Like I said, I just found out about your platform probably either yesterday or 2 days ago and everything, and I appreciate you just let me as a virtually unknown person come on and to sit, chill, and discuss things with you. My final thought is always keep your head on the swivel. Always be looking out. Always be thinking. If you relax, be somewhere where you know you can relax. And just know who you have around you at all times.
Yes,
like
sir.
it might be your friends, might be your family. It doesn't matter. Know who they are, know their character, and act accordingly. Don't allow yourself to be put in a situation where if you, as the innocent bystander, get caught up in somebody else's mess. So we all are responsible for our own selves in every situation. So
yes, sir.
Just
okay.
Be careful. That's all I can really say.
Okay, Banger, come in here, Banger. What you got?
Hey man, I ain't go front. I appreciate everything, man. Us all being able to connect on this platform, and multiple ways. I want utmost peace. We got to be cautious though, for ourselves, for others, mainly so we can keep moving on to the next day and it's never over. Like a small goal is better than not doing anything at all. You know what I'm saying? And anybody can make progress, you know what I mean? As far as all the terrible things that's been going on, we can make that change. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's slow, just taking the step forward to something better is, like I said, anything positive is always better than negative, man. And for the most part, I appreciate y'all, man. Because without y'all, I would probably be doing something else right now. You know what I'm saying?
Probably trying to
I live for this.
Probably trying to make another baby. If I can stop you from making another baby, Banger, we're playing video.
All right, Willie, that's for another day, Willie. We're gonna give Banger some grace and mercy tonight. Banger, we appreciate you for always coming up. Real talk.
Love you, Banger. I love you, brother.
Hey, Mr. Ed, what you got for us,
man.
Mr. Ed?
Well, first I want to thank you, brothers, man, especially Galvin and Willie, man. I found out about you guys about a couple of months ago, so I enjoyed the podcast, especially the singles one. I hope we kind of get back in on one of them. I like that too, but I love this one even more, bringing all the brothers together and having different perspectives, and like you said, coming up with solutions, man. So I appreciate y'all, and then from anybody watching, any younger cast, man, just be safe out here. Whether you're a multi-millionaire or whatever, you got a family, you important in. So something happened to you, that messes everything up for everybody else. So I just want everybody just to be safe then. The holidays is coming up, and
yes, sir.
Hopefully we don't have to, come back under these circumstances, losing the brother, senses of violence. So
yes, sir.
I appreciate all of y'all then. So y'all be safe, and
yes, sir.
Definitely look forward to coming back then. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ed and Kevin, if y'all can drop maybe on social media in the back chat, you know what I mean? Like you said, Ed, we'd definitely like to have you up when we're doing a single show. A lot of times we don't do it live, so we could definitely, I'll definitely send you the link if you want to come up. All right. And last but not least, my man, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me tell y'all something. If you have not yet, go over and subscribe to his podcast. This brother is a direct ally with us, man. We all working together here, and we trying to grow a real network, man. And I like what this brother's doing. I kind of, we do our own thing, and I like what you do. Like I said, you had the ladies up there, and I think you got your own touch with the ladies. I know for sure that's something we ain't got that delicate touch. And now, real talking, that's something that I tip my hat to you, brother, because that's the skill. And like I said, hopefully we can bring all this shit full circle, man. We all grow, man. But what's your final words, brother?
Nah, man, it's always a good time when I'm on y'all show, man. Like I said, I I like the networking thing, you know what I mean? You guys bring a different element to your show than I do mine, you know what I mean? So it's a different change of pace, but I love it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always grateful and appreciate, you guys having me on. Anytime I get that link, like, yo, we're about to do a show, I'll be like, shit, all right, everything shut down for the next few hours, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm about to hop on this shit. But yeah, man, this shit is dope. Like you said, Gav, we from the country, so we're a little bit slower, but once we get shit moving, you know what I mean, we money in the bank, you know what I mean? And I also want to shout out to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I started out just doing all my shows audio. So, you can catch my content on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I think, am I missing one? I know you can use Anchor too. I think I've said Spotify already, but yeah, you can check out my episodes on there. I think I got about 28, 29 of them. I'm fairly still kind of new to the YouTube joint, you know what I mean? So I don't have as many YouTube videos on there. But I do have content on there as well. So check me out, man. I got a co-host, Candoria Lier. Shout out to her. She's a big part of what I do as well. So yeah, man, again, appreciate y'all for having me on this motherfucker. It's always a great time.
For sure, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, this was a good one, man. Hey, Ed, Kevin, like you said, man, we love having y'all up here, man. This organic traffic and shit. That's much respect to y'all. A lot of people don't want to come up. And then if they do come up, a lot of people don't want to cam up. So definitely respect having y'all up here, man. For sure. This was a good one. So like I said, man, y'all brothers enjoy the rest of y'all night. And until next time, deuces.
Thanks, y'all.